Our story kicks off with a delivery guy absolutely flying on his bike when some random woman calls claiming she is pregnant with his kid. Wang Han immediately hangs up, dismissing it as the oldest scam in the book. With that nonsense handled, it is back to the high-speed delivery grind, weaving through traffic like he owns the road. He skids to a halt at the delivery center amid some juicy office gossip, stepping off his bike looking way too cool for this line of work. Our boy asks his coworker what all the chatter is about, and learns the hot topic is the Su family's daughter marrying some rich heir. His buddy even pulls up a photo, lamenting how this beauty is wasted on a total pig. But Wang Han freezes, he definitely recognizes that woman. His coworker, completely oblivious, just gives him a friendly slap. While our guy's mind is racing, connecting this face to that mysterious phone call, this realization hits him like a truck: that scam call was real. In a different scene, that same woman stumbles down a hallway, feeling off, barely managing to reach her apartment door, room 809. She finds the door already ajar, which is never a good sign, and inside, a well-dressed Wang Han is drinking straight from a bottle. Apparently, he got fired because his aura was too intense. Sure, buddy. Just then, she collapses onto the bed right behind him, and he turns around, completely stunned. She is on the bed, delirious and asking for help. And Wang Han is just completely starstruck by how gorgeous she is. Getting closer, she begs him to help her, leaving him totally flustered, while he is literally gripping his pants for dear life to keep his cool. Suddenly, we flash back to his coworker, snapping him out of a daze, who is roasting him for making up stories about famous women. His buddies pile on, laughing about his other jobs like arms dealer and elite family heir. But Wang Han just lights a smoke, claiming he is hiding in plain sight, a master of disguise obviously. They all just laugh it off as big talk before getting back to their scooters, when a ridiculously expensive sports car screeches to a halt right in front of them. Everyone's jaw just drops at the sight of the luxury ride, and then a very elegant high heel steps out onto the pavement. It is the Su family heiress herself, emerging from the driver's seat. Looking like $1,000,000 and not remotely happy. This delivery boys immediately lose their minds, hearts popping out of their eyes, until one of them realizes she looks awfully familiar. Putting it together, they realize it is Su Chi and have no idea what she is doing here. She walks straight past them to Wang Han, asking why he has been ignoring her calls, which sends his coworkers into a state of absolute shock. No way, he actually knows her. Our boy just plays it cool, asking what calls she is talking about, smooth as ever. She lays it all out, flatly stating she is pregnant and the baby is his, which sends his coworkers into a full-blown meltdown right behind him. Wang Han, looking like his brain just short-circuited, asks if she is sure about this. With zero patience, she just tells him to come with her to the hospital, while his buddies are practically shoving him into the luxury car, cheering him on. Our boy, ever the professional, just asks his friend to cover for him with the manager. Then the red sports car just vanishes down the street in a blur. Inside, he is still trying to confirm the news, and she is like, "Why would I lie?" He gets dead serious, promising to take responsibility for both of them if it is true, earning him nothing but a cold, unimpressed side-eye from Su Chi. She immediately scoffs, asking how he will manage that with his food delivery money. Wang Han just leans back, totally unbothered, defending his honest living. When she tries to intimidate him with her family name, he just calls status crap, which makes her slam her high heel right on the accelerator. This sudden acceleration throws him back in his seat, completely caught off guard, and he yells at her for doing it on purpose while she just smirks. They finally pull up to a massive hospital, so this is really happening. Su Chi gets out of the car without a second glance, all business, warning him that her family will ruin him if they find out he got her pregnant. But Wang Han fires back, shouting that if the baby's his, he is taking responsibility, period. Wang Han, accepting his fate, gestures for her to go in with him. Inside the hospital, she leads him down a long hallway, telling him to wait. But the destination is an operating room, leaving him totally baffled. The cold look over her shoulder, she just announces she is going in. This realization hits him like a freight train. She is not here for a checkup, and he grabs her arm, desperately asking if she has lost her mind. He insists money is not a problem, but she knows he cannot support a child. And just then, a nurse arrives to call Su Chi in for her procedure. Great timing. She calmly agrees, pulling her hand from his desperate grip, then disappears behind the operating room doors without another word. Left totally helpless, Wang Han cannot believe he could not change her mind. While inside, the doctors are prepping, asking if she is ready to begin. Lying on the table, she looks completely resigned to her fate. As one of the doctors holds up a needle, telling her to relax, yeah, that will work. Her eyes close, bracing for what is about to happen. But at the last possible moment, her hand shoots up, telling them to wait. Out in the hall, Wang Han is just stewing, thinking it is all over. Suddenly, the door slides open and Su Chi walks right out, his head snapping around in complete and utter shock. Our boy is just baffled, wondering how she is out already. Surgeries are not that fast. Su Chi, looking totally exhausted, asks him to drive her home in her car. And our boy just smirks, boasting he can fly a fighter jet, a totally normal skill for a delivery guy. So the red sports car just peels out, flying down the road, speeding into a fancy neighborhood when his phone suddenly starts ringing. He answers it mid-drive, looking dead serious, getting a full-on mission briefing for a bidding event where some big shot will be following his lead. They finally pull up to her family's massive villa and he tells her they are here, but she just sits there looking completely miserable about being home. He gets out, offering to walk her to the door since she looks a bit weak, only for her to coldly tell him to stay out of her business. In a moment of perfect karma, her heel slips on the curb, sending her pitching forward with a surprised shriek. Wang Han, with lightning reflexes, swoops in and catches her, then immediately calls her an unbelievable klutz because he is a gentleman. Her response is to get a death grip on his stomach, making him yell out in shock and pain from the sudden pinch, her fingers digging in with some serious intent. Before she follows up with a vicious thigh grab for good measure. Despite the abuse, he just scoops her into his arms, complaining that she is way too harsh, and the scene cuts to the quiet, elegant interior of the house. Inside the villa, Wang Han is suddenly playing doctor for Su Chi's twisted ankle, and she is already telling him to get lost while he is trying to wrap it up. Just then, a very unwelcome pair of heels steps into the room. And two women walk in on this very compromising-looking scene. It is her mom and best friend, and mom looks absolutely furious. Our boy tries to explain the situation calmly, only for Su Chi to drop a bomb. He is her boyfriend, apparently. Wang Han's brain just does a full system reboot at the news, while Su Chi's mother absolutely loses it over a delivery guy boyfriend. This friend just looks confused as this whole mess unfolds. As the furious woman gets right in his face, demanding to know who he is. Su Chi meanwhile offers zero backup, just looking away. She immediately backtracks, claiming the whole thing was a joke. Hilarious. Mom is relieved, reminding her about her rich fiancé and how she cannot mess this up. But Wang Han takes offense, asking what is so wrong with being a delivery guy, which earns him a tirade about being a low-class nobody who should stay in his lane. And that right there is the wrong thing to say because his face goes dark. Sensing trouble, Su Chi quickly dismisses him, telling him to just leave. He turns to walk out with the friend watching him go, and the mother orders the floor to be scrubbed where the filthy delivery guy stood. Classy. This friend, looking way too pleased with herself, says she gets it, and immediately starts grilling Su Chi about her relationship with Wang Han. But she is not buying the denial. She saw the way Su Chi looked at him. So Su Chi just drops the whole truth bomb. She is pregnant with his child. Her friend's brain completely short-circuits at the news, asking if she is serious about a delivery guy while Su Chi calls it a drunken fluke. When pressed about her family and the Chin family, Su Chi confirms she is keeping the baby, which makes her friend absolutely lose her mind, yelling that she is crazy. Su Chi calmly explains that Wang Han already promised to take full responsibility, but her friend just launches into a tirade about how he is a worthless nobody. Totally over it, Su Chi just puts a hand up, telling her to stop, and the friend reveals she is in town for a bidding event with her grandpa. Suddenly, a dangerous glint appears in her eye, and she announces she has a brilliant idea, which is never a good sign. Her genius plan is to just accuse Wang Han of assault if the secret gets out. What a great friend. Meanwhile, our boy is just walking away from the toxic mansion, realizing he is completely stranded with no taxis in sight. Just then, a sleek black car pulls up right beside him, and Wang Han turns, a little surprised by the convenient timing. An older man in a suit steps out, respectfully calling him young master. The cover is blown. This butler formally announces he is here to escort him to the big event, and Wang Han plays it cool, saying his grandpa already gave him the heads up. Before they go, he requests a shower and a new suit, priorities, you know, and just like that, a massive limo peels out to pick up our boy. This scene cuts to the super exclusive bidding event packed with high society types, where a cleaned-up Wang Han surveys the room like he owns the place. Suddenly, a familiar voice calls out to him from across the floor. Oh great, it is Su Chi's best friend, and she looks less than thrilled to see him. She immediately assumes he is working here part-time because of course she does. Our boy looks just a little bit done with this whole poor delivery guy act, but before he can say a word, she grabs his arm with a death grip. Then she starts dragging him away for a talk, completely ignoring his confusion. And in a corner, she threatens him to take responsibility for Su Chi's baby. This completely blindsides Wang Han, who thought the baby was already gone. She fires back that Su Chi is keeping it, leaving him absolutely floored by the news. His brain finally connects the dots. She never went through with the surgery. Getting even more intense, she warns him not to even think about leaving, and punctuates her point by stomping her heel right on his foot. He yells out in pain while she just glares, clearly enjoying this way too much. Just then, an announcement cuts through the drama. The bidding is about to start. Wang Han's mind is racing. She kept the baby and he has to find her after this. But just then, a woman in a suit greets him as young master, introducing herself as Liu Yue, his new personal assistant courtesy of grandpa. Our boy, fully in character, just tells her it is time to get down to business. And they stride into the event with an air of serious purpose. Inside, some blowhard is already announcing the Chin family's claim on the main project, twisting his ridiculous mustache while demanding everyone show some respect. Meet Chin Lei, eldest son of the Chin family and a real charmer. His assistant confirms he is their main rival for the night, though Wang Han just scoffs because calling this guy a rival is a bit of a stretch. Then the final piece clicks. This is the trash fiancé Su Chi is stuck with. A little smirk crosses his face as he finally understands the whole picture. Just as the auctioneer announces the main event, the bid for the new district, Chin Lei immediately throws down a massive 5 billion bid to scare everyone off, and the crowd murmurs that nobody would dare cross the powerful Chin family. Wang Han, without even blinking, raises his paddle and casually bids 6 billion. Which makes the entire room just lose its mind, wondering who has a death wish. People immediately start whispering that this guy is completely shameless for challenging them. While over in his seat, Chin Lei's hand clenches into a very angry fist, and he glares, demanding to know who the hell is trying to start trouble. Wang Han just calmly asks if there is a problem. It is an auction, highest bidder wins. But Chin Lei is absolutely losing it, screaming that the Chin family already called dibs. Our boy looks down on him, basically asking what that has to do with him at all. This whole room is buzzing, shocked that anyone would dare go against them. So Chin Lei, fuming, immediately ups the bid to 700 million, and Wang Han, without missing a beat, counters with 800 million. This sends Chin Lei into a full-on tantrum, declaring his family is the law here. He gets right in our boy's face, screaming that no one can take what they want. Then he throws down 900 million, adding a little death threat for flavor. Wang Han's response is just to laugh right in his face, before casually bidding 1 billion, which makes Chin Lei completely snap. But Wang Han is way faster, landing a solid punch right on his jaw. This blow sends the blowhard flying backwards with a pathetic yelp, leaving his goons completely stunned as our boy just stands there. One of the goons finally recovers and lunges forward to attack. But Wang Han's eyes just narrow with deadly focus, and he effortlessly dodges and stomps the guy into the floor. Chin Lei, holding his bruised face, cannot believe he actually got hit, so Wang Han just boots another goon into the air like a soccer ball, sending him crashing right back down on top of his boss. This human missile makes a perfect landing right on top of his boss. Wang Han, completely unfazed, asks if anyone else is going to bid. And the terrified auctioneer confirms that no, nobody else has a death wish. With business handled, he tells his assistant to wrap up the transfer. He is leaving. Elsewhere, in a very expensive-looking room, an old man waits for a guest, while his granddaughter complains about being summoned so urgently she missed the auction. Grandpa warns her to watch her attitude for this very important person, but she just scoffs, wondering who could possibly be that big of a deal. Just then, an aide reports the auction is over and the Chin family lost, which completely shocks the granddaughter, who cannot believe anyone would dare. This old man reveals their guest is the one who won, and she is already judging him as arrogant. Deciding she needs to make a call, she excuses herself to step outside, and while walking down the hall, she heads straight for a collision course, bumping right into Wang Han's chest with a little yelp. She immediately loses it, furious to see the food delivery guy here too. Brushing past him, she gets on the phone to share her important news, as Wang Han enters the room where the old man greets him as young master. Our boy confirms the business is done, then mentions the woman he just ran into, and Grandpa launches his pitch. It is his unmarried granddaughter who is dying to meet him. He then pivots, asking if Wang Han happens to know Su Qi of the Su family. Wang Han casually asks about Su Qi's love life, delaying his own business. But the old man insists she is stubborn and has never dated anyone. This gives our boy a knowing smirk just as his phone starts to ring. Speak of the devil, it is Su Qi calling him right on cue. She wants to meet up, and he immediately agrees to go find her, telling Grandpa he is leaving and cutting off another matchmaking attempt. Meanwhile, Su Qi waits for him alone on a park bench, looking completely lost in thought by the water. Then Wang Han pulls up on a motorcycle, looking very not poor, and after parking it, he walks over to stand in front of her. After a beat, he sits down right beside her on the bench, putting an arm around her and promising to marry her and raise the baby. She immediately hits him with the hard question, can he even afford it? Our boy just scoffs, like money is the last thing he is worried about. To prove her point, she gestures to her fancy watch, testing his knowledge, and he casually rattles off the exact model and price down to the thousand. This completely stuns her, wondering how a delivery guy knows that, but his only response is to stop worrying, which makes her call him a braggart. Just then, her own phone starts ringing, interrupting the moment. It is a call summoning her to a meeting with a Chin Hao, and she sounds less than thrilled. Wang Han smoothly agrees to take her home, looking way too pleased with himself, and he gestures to his very not-a-delivery guy motorcycle, telling her to get on. Then they are off, speeding through the city streets like a scene from a movie, while Su Qi leans against his back, finally looking at peace for a moment. As they leave all the drama behind them in a blur, he pulls up to her fancy-looking house and walks her right to the door, where she announces she is home with her new +1 in tow. But surprise, Mom is waiting, and she is furious that Chin Hao has been kept waiting. This whole family is assembled for this ambush, but Su Qi just says she went for a walk. Her mom immediately grills her for bringing a stranger home while Dad brings up the wedding. And from the couch, Chin Hao gives a slimy little wave here to talk arrangements. Meet Chin Hao, second young master of the Chin family and brother to the idiot Wang Han just decked. Su Qi tries to shut it down, reminding them the Chin family lost the bid, so the deal's off. But he just dismisses it, insisting they get married first and negotiate everything else later. His inner monologue reveals the plan: get her in bed, then maybe decide if he will help her family. Mom keeps pushing the marriage as their only hope until Su Qi finally tells her to stop. And with a look of pure defiance, she declares she is not marrying him, which sends her parents into a complete panic over their precious family alliance. So Su Qi grabs Wang Han's arm and drops the ultimate bombshell: she is already pregnant with his child. And her mom's face just absolutely breaks, jaw on the floor. Dad immediately starts screaming, pointing at Wang Han like he is a piece of trash. And Mom goes for the slap, yelling about how her daughter has no shame. But that hand gets caught mid-swing with a solid thwack by Wang Han, who just holds her wrist, asking what her problem is with delivery guys. He then flips the script, asking if selling your own daughter for profit is considered shameful, which makes her absolutely shriek for this filthy thing to let her go. So now Dad steps up, calling his own daughter a tramp for this whole display. He is just completely losing it, ranting about how she has ruined herself. And Wang Han has heard enough, delivering a swift backhand to shut him up. This old man goes flying across the room from the force of the blow. As our boy calmly explains that since she is pregnant, nobody gets to hit his woman. Dad, scrambling on the floor, cannot believe it and starts making threats. Then he grabs a heavy-looking ashtray from the table and charges forward screaming, "I will kill you," which is a totally normal reaction. Wang Han just tells Su Qi to stand behind him, ever the gentleman about to commit violence. This swing comes in wild and he dodges it without even breaking a sweat, before landing a clean punch that sends the old man flying again. With Dad on the floor, Wang Han stands over him, asking who dared touch his girl. He then gets on top of the guy, grabbing his collar to teach him a lesson, and starts absolutely wailing on him while the old man just screams. This beatdown is in full swing, with Dad screaming for help as he gets his face rearranged. Su Qi finally steps in, telling Wang Han to stop the impromptu parenting lesson. But just then, a new crew arrives, led by an old man demanding to know who is causing a scene. It is her grandpa, and Su Qi is completely shocked to see him here. So now we have a full-on family standoff, with dear old Dad still on the floor. This old man announces he heard everything, and he does not look happy about it. He gets right to it, asking if she is really pregnant with this delivery guy's child, and Su Qi, bless her, just looks him in the eye and says yes, which sends the whole family into a meltdown, with Grandpa screaming the child must be aborted. Dad chimes in that even if she does, she has ruined their chances with the Chin family. This blame game is on, with everyone declaring the Su family is finished because she was spoiled. Through all this, Su Qi just stands there, silently taking the verbal abuse. She finally begs them to stop arguing, but the stress is clearly too much, and she starts to collapse, clutching her head in pain. Wang Han catches her in a flash, promising to get her out of this nightmare. Dad, having learned nothing, starts screaming for him to let her go and threatening to break his hands. Our boy just gives them a look of pure contempt, asking if they even call themselves human. Then he just turns and starts walking out, carrying her like none of them even matter. On his way past, he casually boots the dad again without even breaking stride. With a final glare, he announces he is taking Su Qi and dares anyone to have a problem with it. This family is left in the dust, completely speechless and furious. With a final "any objections," Wang Han just walks out with Su Qi in his arms, and the next stop is his surprisingly nice-looking apartment building. Inside, he gently lays her down on the couch to rest, but as he stands over her, a card slips out of his pocket, and he picks it up from the floor, taking a closer look. Realizing it is her birthday, he feels bad that her own family forgot. Time to show her what he is capable of, because she is his woman now. 20 minutes pass and she is still out cold on the sofa, until she finally wakes up, completely confused about where she is. And look who it is, Chef Wang Han, offering her a bowl of something warm. Turns out he has cooked an entire feast just for the two of them. Bragging that his food is good enough for Dubai royalty, sure buddy. She just gives him a look, asking if he could possibly dial back the ego. Sitting at the table, she makes a weird rule: no one can say the word die today. And just then he pulls out a little pink birthday cake, wishing her a happy birthday with a single lit candle. She is absolutely floored, wondering how on earth he knew, while he just soaks it in, asking if he is not the most amazing guy ever, and a single tear rolls down her cheek, completely overwhelmed. He offers his supermodel exclusive shoulder for her to cry on, what a gentleman, but she just laughs, the mood finally lifting for a second, and instead she tells him to try some of his own cooking. She takes a bite and has to admit it is actually really good. This whole spread looks surprisingly legit, not gonna lie. He then tells her to make a wish on her little birthday cake. With the sweet moment over, he asks what her plans are now. She immediately calls his bluff, asking if he is backing out of his promise. He challenges her about marrying a delivery guy, so she calls for a wedding tomorrow. With total conviction, she declares she is not afraid to do it. Our boy just smirks, plan 100% on track. And right on cue, his phone starts buzzing, ruining the vibe. He gets up to take the call, leaving her at the table. Stepping out onto the balcony, he answers a call from Zio Hua. This news is bad. An organization called Hydra is in town to kill him. He just casually lights a cigarette, promising to handle the assassins tomorrow. Inside, Su Qi is now on her own phone call. A friend calls to wish her a happy birthday, but learns she is the second one. This friend is shocked it was not Chin Hao but some delivery guy named Wang Han, and as her friend freaks out, Su Qi just quietly eats her cake. Her friend absolutely loses it over the phone, but Su Qi just says they are getting married tomorrow. This friend Zufu is in full-on panic mode, promising to figure something out, and her big plan is to go beg the mysterious big shot who won the bid to help Su Qi's family. Meanwhile, on the balcony, Wang Han gets a call. Some eldest princess has been asking for him. He lights a cigarette, warning his guy not to dare tell her where he is. But it is too late, the subordinate already spilled the beans to avoid getting castrated, which is apparently shocking enough to make our boy drop his lighter. He hits the deck, screaming at his guy for selling him out like a chump. His subordinate tries to spin it as a good thing before faking a bad signal and hanging up, a true professional. Wang Han is left squatting on the floor, realizing just how screwed he is. Then his phone buzzes again, and he is absolutely not in the mood for this. It is a text from a Lin Zufu, granddaughter of some big shot, wanting to talk business. She is proposing a partnership with the Su family and promising to do anything he asks. Our boy just stares at the message, putting the pieces together. Right after, Grandpa Lin himself calls to apologize for his granddaughter's boldness, but Wang Han plays it cool. He then casually asks for a sniper rifle and tells the old man to give Su Chi full authority over the project. Back inside, Su Chi is just relaxing on the bed, totally oblivious. Her friend calls back, ecstatic that she got in touch with the big shot and he agreed to help. Su Chi is overjoyed, completely believing her friend somehow pulled off a miracle. Wang Han walks in as she hangs up and she tells him he would not understand her good news, oh honey. Finding her reading on the bed, he acts surprised she is into books, and he gets all smooth, taking her hand and saying there is a lot she does not know about him. She gets totally flustered, asking what he is doing since she already agreed to marry him. But our boy just pulls a pillow from behind her, telling her to rest while he takes the couch. Walking away, he throws in some unsolicited pregnancy advice about reading at night, leaving her blushing on the bed, thinking he was about to make a move. This next morning arrives, bright and full of questionable life choices. Wang Han starts his day with some casual one-armed handstand push-ups on the balcony, which Su Chi immediately mocks, asking if he is practicing Toad style. He corrects her with a totally not made-up name, the dragon coiling hand, explaining it is a legit killing technique, which makes her wonder why a delivery guy needs one. His excuse is a cheesy line about protecting his family, and she seems to just roll with it. Back inside, she is surprised by how thoughtful he is, having made breakfast and all, but he just smirks, telling her to come with him to his place after they eat. Turns out his place is for his registration book so they can get married, and he teases her about it. So she calls his bluff, asking if he is backing out and demanding they go right now. Walking outside, she asks about meeting his parents, but he shuts that down fast. His logic is his family might not approve, so they will just trap them with a baby later. Solid plan. She then teases him about marrying into her family, admitting everything's great except his background. Which leaves our boy a little thrown, running a hand through his hair. He pulls up on a motorcycle, asking if he is not a good enough catch for her. She hops on, and with a hold tight, they are off to get hitched, and they speed away, leaving all that family drama in the dust. But of course they were being watched by some new goons and a very angry-looking man. This guy, presumably the jilted fiancé Chin Hao, orders his men to kill Wang Han and grab Su Chi. His lead goon cracks his knuckles, promising to get the job done. On the road, our soon-to-be-married couple is completely unaware, until Wang Han clocks a van tailing them in broad daylight. He tells her he has a quick errand to run and needs to drop her off first. Then he is weaving through traffic, leading his new fan club on a merry chase. Pulling up to a ridiculously fancy villa, he tells her this is his place. She heads inside to wait, totally oblivious to the danger outside. With a smirk, Wang Han confirms the van is still following him, and he peels out, luring them away from the house and into his trap. He leads them through the streets, picking the perfect spot for a showdown. Coming to a hard stop, he is basically daring them to make a move. But a quick glance up reveals a sniper on a balcony. The Hydra assassins have arrived. This assassin confirms the ambush is in place, thinking he has got the drop on him. Wang Han just stretches, announcing it is time to take care of all his problems at once. Meanwhile, Su Chi wanders upstairs in the massive villa, still thinking he is just a delivery guy inside the villa. Wang Han gets to work assembling his new toy, and he is pretty impressed with the rifle Grandpa Lin sent over, until he spots some unexpected laundry on the bed, and a woman in a towel walks out looking completely shocked. It is Lin Zufu, the eldest princess, demanding to know why a delivery guy is in her house. Before he can explain, his instincts scream and he yells for her to get down, just as a sniper round shatters the window and he tackles her to the floor. She struggles, thinking he is attacking her, not saving her life. He pins her down, warning her to stay quiet or they are both dead. She is absolutely terrified, asking what the hell is going on. Taking aim, our boy challenges Hydra to show him what they have got, and he fires a single perfect shot through the broken window. His bullet zips across the way, finding its target, taking out the Hydra sniper with one clean hit. That is one assassin down for the count, easy peasy. He scoffs that Hydra was overhyped while Lin Zufu demands answers, but his danger sense suddenly goes off again. A second bullet is already screaming right for them. He shoves her to the ground for a second time today, and the round smashes into the wall right where his head used to be. He realizes there is another shooter across the way, and now he is juggling Hydra, that van, and a very confused princess. Noting the gunshot is basically a dinner bell for all his enemies, taking aim with Lin Zufu cowering behind him. Our boy fires back without a moment's hesitation, his own bullet screaming across the gap. This second sniper barely has time to register his own doom, trying to get a shot off as his life flashes before his eyes. But his return fire just smacks the wall while Lin Zufu screams about perverts, priorities, girl. Wang Han then casually plucks the enemy's bullet out of the air because of course he does, identifying it as a custom round from an assassin group called Abyss. So he asks her when she decided to make friends with Eastern European killers. A quick check reveals he is out of ammo, having only planned for 2 assassins, a classic rookie mistake. Suddenly, Lin Zufu connects the dots to a business deal she rejected, just as Wang Han's danger sense screams and he shoves her down again, leaving them pinned on the floor amidst the shattered glass. Out of options, he decides it is time for a special move, picking up a glass shard. Then he is up and running straight for the open window. And with a flick of the wrist, he hurls the glass like a deadly projectile, which finds its mark right in the sniper's hand. Across the way, the assassins are officially out of commission. Back inside, Wang Han casually tells a towel-clad Lin Zufu that the coast is clear. She is finally connecting the dots, demanding to know who he really is beyond the delivery boy act. Her big threat is to tell Su-Chi everything, but our boy just shushes her. Because he hears more uninvited guests arriving downstairs, and Lin Zufu realizes her very bad day is not over yet. She grabs onto him in a panic, but he promises to go check it out. Downstairs, Chin Hao's goons have let themselves in, wondering what a delivery guy is doing here. Their brilliant deduction is that he is just a common thief, a fatal miscalculation. Wang Han appears at the top of the stairs, giving them a friendly little wave. He then smirks, asking if this whole welcoming party is for him. This lead goon confirms they are here for Chin Hao and plan to break his legs for being with Su-Chi. Our boy just taps his temple, completely unfazed by their very specific threats. With the order given, the whole crew charges up the stairs to get the job done. Wang Han meets them head-on, planting a kick squarely in the first guy's jaw, which sends the poor sap flying backwards immediately. In the blink of an eye, two more are down, leaving only the leader standing. This bandana guy is in disbelief. This delivery guy is a trained martial artist. Absolutely refusing to lose to a delivery guy, he lunges forward with his blade, and Wang Han just leaps clean over the attack, ready to finish this. With a flying kick, Wang Han sends the leader's sword spinning, and the goon hits the floor hard as Lin Zufu watches from the stairs. She lets out a very helpful scream, completely shocked by the violence, which just annoys the bandana guy, who tells her to shut it. Deciding on a classic plan B, he grabs Lin Zufu as a hostage, and he puts the blade to her throat, threatening to kill her if Wang Han moves. Our boy is so not impressed, basically telling him to get on with it. He even starts walking closer, calling the goon's bluff completely. This tough guy starts to sweat, begging him to stay back. Then Wang Han just vanishes, reappearing right in his face in a flash. He stops the blade with two fingers, mocking the guy's pathetic skills. This goon is paralyzed, realizing this delivery guy is impossibly strong. Wang Han just keeps taunting him, asking why he has not killed her yet. And with a casual flick, he shatters the sword into a dozen pieces, leaving both the goon and his hostage staring in total disbelief. He then grabs the leader by the throat, calling him worthless, who immediately tries to save his skin by name-dropping the Black Dragon Society. Wang Han's response is aboard so what before he throws him, sending the last man standing flying across the room. Now on the floor, the goon begs Wang Han not to go down a path of crime, peak hypocrisy. Wang Han puts his boot on the goon's spine, ending the conversation. This guy's face is just a mess of pain and blood, and suddenly he is begging, pulling the I have an old mom card. But our boy gives him 3 seconds before the goon finally spills. Chin Hao is already after Su-Chi. That little tidbit finally gets Wang Han's full attention. So he delivers one last kick for not leading with the important info, you absolute moron. Just then, a knock at the door. It is the police. Great timing. Wang Han bolts, telling Lin Zufu to handle the cops and pretend he was never there. This police enter, trying to reassure the lady who is still just in a towel, flashing a badge and asking what the hell happened in this trashed villa. So she gives them the short version. 3 guys with knives crashed her shower time. This cops immediately start cuffing the barely conscious welcoming committee, while another officer reports finding 2 dead bodies nearby are snipers. Meanwhile, we cut to Chin Hao monologuing about his plan to force himself on Su-Chi, and there she is, cornered in a bedroom as he advances on her. This creep lunges, making some truly disgusting threats, pinning her to the bed while gloating that no one can save her now, smugly adding that her delivery boy boyfriend is probably already dead, right before a shoe smashes into his face mid-sentence, and Wang Han sends the scumbag flying across the room. Talk about an entrance. Wang Han stands over the scumbag, dropping the classic "you touched my woman" line. On his knees, Chin Hao immediately pulls the "do you know who my dad is" card. Our boy is so not impressed, promising his dad will pay for having a son like him. This idiot then tries to charge, still screaming about his rich daddy's influence, so he gets another swift kick for his troubles, sending him flying clean through the window as Wang Han comforts Su-Chi. She clings to him, just thankful that he showed up to save her, while Chin Hao scurries away in the background, vowing revenge like a Saturday morning cartoon villain. A sudden change of pace, Wang Han asks for the time, looking serious, telling Su-Chi he has a meeting to get to and she is coming with him. Cut to a massive corporate tower where a President Liu is expected, and they walk right into the boardroom. Surprise, Su-Chi is President Liu. An assistant there is completely shocked to see him, calling him young master, but Wang Han quickly plays it off like she is just an old classmate, much to Su-Chi's confusion. This classmate awkwardly goes along with it, inviting her boss to sit down, and they try to get straight to business, talking about some big project. Just then, a whole welcoming committee of executives bursts in to greet their president, and leading the pack is none other than Su-Chi's grandpa. This old man says he was just too excited about the project to stay home, then immediately calls out Su-Chi for bringing a random guy to a top-level meeting. Then her dad starts yelling, telling her to get up and serve her brother. Wow, classy. And this new guy Sula tries to cut Su-Chi out of the deal entirely. This whole family is ganging up on her, with grandpa still demanding she pour water. Her uncle chimes in, telling her to just get married and leave business to the men. But Wang Han, sitting at the head of the table, finally speaks up for her, which immediately earns him a "shut up, who are you" from the old guard. Sula then starts spreading a rumor that Su-Chi is pregnant with a delivery guy's baby, real mature. Grandpa demands she throw the trash out, but Su-Chi fiercely defends him. This defiance sends the old man into a full-blown rage. Our boy just calls them all shameless, prompting Grandpa to question what a delivery guy is doing here. So Wang Han drops the bomb, Suchi is his fiancée and the project is hers, period. This old classmate reveal completely throws Sula for a loop. President Liu then backs him up, stating her company will only work with Suchi, and when Grandpa asks to speak to her boss, she says he is not qualified, an absolutely brutal shutdown. This old man is just stunned into silence, his entire power play collapsing. Suddenly, the whole family is backtracking, promising Suchi will manage the project. With that settled, President Liu politely tells them all to get lost so she and Suchi can talk business. Defeated, the uncle and grandpa have no choice but to leave with their tails between their legs. Sula tries to complain on the way out, but his own dad tells him to shut it. Wang Han just smirks, watching the clowns he just played leave the room. In the hallway, Sula is already complaining to his dad about Suchi. Suchi's uncle tells his son to relax, assuring him he has his own methods. Kicking Grandpa out, the uncle reveals a family secret. Suchi is not his real daughter. Grandpa is stunned as the uncle explains she is adopted and a total disgrace to the family name. This old man immediately starts scheming, asking about her biological parents. Apparently they are dead and left a worthless pendant, but Sula just wants to hear the plan already. This uncle's masterstroke is to let her run the project first, then steal it from her later, what a guy. And Sula, the good son, is totally on board with this backstabbing plot. Cut to a totally different skyscraper where our story takes a turn. A new, sharply dressed guy with a cigarette asks two security guards for a light. One of the guards obliges, asking if he is here for a job interview. He claims to be a delivery guy and the guards joke that they are mortal enemies. This new guy just takes a drag, completely unfazed by their little security guard comedy routine. Suddenly, the guards snap to attention because President Su is arriving, their office crush apparently. Our new guy scoffs at their excitement, but a guard tells him to know his place. He is just a delivery boy. Then the woman herself appears and the new guy greets President Su casually. This guards are absolutely floored that she even acknowledged him, what a lucky break. One guard even gives him a patronizing pep talk about having dreams, delivery boy. Right on cue, President Su pulls up in a bright red sports car and tells him to get in. He gives the dumbfounded guards a little wave as he leaves, their tiny minds completely blown. This guards are left eating dust, their entire worldview completely shattered. Inside the car, our new guy is all smiles, but President Su credits someone named Zufu for the deal. He is told to thank them properly, right before she announces their marriage registration is tomorrow morning. His response is a casual okay, as she explains it is just a $30K a month gig so her kid has a dad. She scoffs that if he wants to be kept, $30,000 is way too low, and tells him not to push his luck, he is just a delivery guy after all. This sports car then pulls up to a ridiculously fancy modern villa, where she teases him for already knowing the way home, but he just deadpans GPS. As they walk in, he has to step aside to take a very important-looking call. Answering with a casual, "What is up, old man?" before getting a mission briefing on the Black Dragon Society. He promises to handle it, but the caller immediately pivots to asking about his marriage plans. Our boy is furious someone leaked the news, and the old man calls him out for trying to hide it, lecturing him about all the better high society girls he could be marrying instead. Then drops the real bomb, his big sister is coming tomorrow, and he completely panics. He ends the call threatening to unplug the old man's life support as she asks what is wrong, but he just brushes it off, telling her it is nothing as they head inside. They walk into their sleek modern home, where she immediately spots a mysterious envelope on the table. He plays it off as a greeting card and sends her to make dinner, totally deflecting. And as she holds his jacket, she starts thinking this whole house husband thing might actually work out. He tells her to relax while he handles dinner, playing the perfect house husband. And our boy is fully leaning into the role, what a professional. President Su just sits there, probably wondering what she has gotten herself into. This very next day, they are outside the Civil Affairs Bureau, and just like that, he is officially a married man, mission accomplished. She immediately asks if he is back to delivering food, but he jokes about chasing girls instead. Calling him a lost cause, she walks off in a huff. But he is already focused on his real job, the mission from the old man. He arrives at the massive headquarters of the Black Dragon Group, a former street gang that has gone corporate, at least on paper. Their business is still just loan sharking and shady deals, and he is here to crash the party. Inside, a couple of low-level goons immediately try to stop him. He calmly tells them he is just here to collect a debt. They are confused until he clarifies he is collecting from their boss, Baldy Lou. That little detail sends them into a rage. This guy clearly has a death wish. This first goon throws a sloppy punch which gets blocked with zero effort. In response, he gets a swift kick to the shin for his troubles, dropping him to the floor almost instantly. His bald buddy charges in next, looking absolutely furious, only to get a boot planted squarely on his jaw for the effort. This second goon hits the floor, leaving our guy standing over the wreckage. He calmly asks the first goon to take him to see Baldy Liu. Meanwhile, the man himself is enjoying some wine and company in his office. She's practically licking the wine off his chest, peak romance, folks. He's just loving the attention, patting her on the head like a pet. Right then, one of his tattooed minions bursts in, ruining the moment. Baldy Liu is furious, yelling about who dares to barge into his territory. But the poor minion is too terrified to even get the words out, because our hero just kicks him clean through the doorway. What an entrance. This goon lands in a heap right at his boss's feet. This sends Baldy Liu into a rage and he immediately pulls a gun. In response, our guy just flicks a mysterious black plaque through the air. It embeds itself in the desk, leaving the boss totally confused, until he recognizes the symbol and absolutely panics. It is from the 10 Elders Society. Even the downed goon knows that name, a legendary and terrifying underworld group. Our boy just smirks like, oh, you have heard of us. Suddenly, Baldy Liu drops his gun and hits the floor, calling him Ninth Prince. This tough guy act is gone as he kneels, asking for his orders, so our hero lights a cigarette while the crime boss scrambles to give him a light from his knees. He then casually brings up a stolen shipment and Liu starts sweating, calling it all a misunderstanding. This ninth prince just mocks Liu for having the nerve to steal from his society. Then he drops a chilling line about his black card being an execution order. Cornered, Baldy Liu pulls a gun, deciding to go down fighting. In response, our boy flicks his cigarette butt like a deadly projectile, which smacks the gun right out of Liu's hand before he can even react. He holds up the plaque, casually mentioning his 100% fatality rate for people who do that. In a blur of motion, he lunges forward with the plaque held like a blade, and a single decisive strike ends the conversation permanently. This whole room freezes as the boss collapses, leaving his crew in total shock. His tattooed second-in-command cannot even process what just happened. As more goons pour in, they find their entire power structure just collapsed. Now surrounded, the ninth prince is completely unfazed by the backup. He offers the tattooed goon a promotion, take over the gang and work for him or die. This guy makes the smart choice and the entire crew immediately swears loyalty. With the hostile takeover complete, he tells them to lead him to the goods. Meanwhile, at a completely different corporate tower, another plot is brewing. An old man and his injured lackey are on a revenge mission against Wang Han. This guy storms the building, demanding to see the boss of the Black Dragon Society. He is ready to pay any price for Boss Liu to eliminate a certain delivery guy. This is gonna be awkward, too bad for him because inside, Brother Long is announcing he is the new man in charge. This old man storms in, ready to hire the Black Dragon Society for a hit. Still bandaged from his last encounter, he is demanding to see Boss Liu. But the new boss, Brother Long, informs him there has been a slight change in management. Undeterred, the old guy offers him 50 million to take someone out. And the high-value target is, of course, a food delivery guy. Brother Long is skeptical. 50 million for a delivery boy sounds like a prank, but the old man is furious, screaming that this guy stole his woman and must die. Well, a $50 million deal just fell into the new boss's lap. He is in. This client's only request is to watch the guy die with his own two eyes. So Brother Long rounds up his goons to go handle this very expensive delivery problem. Meanwhile, our boy Wang Han is back at his day job, completely oblivious. He casually says goodbye to his coworkers, just another shift, looking impossibly cool for a guy on a delivery bike. Right on cue, a black van cuts him off in the middle of the street, and out pops the bandaged old man with a metal pipe, ready for revenge. Wang Han just calmly admits this is a bit unexpected. This lack of panic just enrages the old guy, who swears to make him kneel. He swings the pipe low, aiming to break our hero's legs, only for Wang Han to stop the weapon cold with two fingers. Then he drives a knee into the man's stomach, asking who is supposed to be kneeling. He taunts the old man about who is really going to kneel, and just like that, the bandaged fool is on the ground, screaming for his hired help, the new boss Wen, to actually do something. Brother Long's crew finally pours out of the van, looking tough. This new boss himself steps up, ready to test this legendary delivery guy. His client's only order is to make Wang Han wish he were dead, so Brother Long gets chummy, putting a hand right on his shoulder, which immediately turns into a world of pain for him. With a casual arm twist, Wang Han asks who he thinks he is touching. He then calls out the new boss for getting a big head so quickly, and that is when Brother Long recognizes him. It is the ninth prince. This old guy is completely lost, pointing and demanding an explanation. Furious at being set up, Brother Long just kicks his own client in the face, sending the bandaged idiot flying through the air. Wang Han puts a foot on his chest, giving him one last warning. This message is received loud and clear, by the way. He then clarifies that Su Qi is his wife and to never, ever go near her again. With that mess handled, our boy checks his phone, worried about being late for work. Meanwhile, the old man is still yelling at the gang for being useless, but Brother Long just tells him that is no delivery guy, that is someone you run from. Wang Han's next delivery takes him to a seriously run-down apartment block, and walking the halls, he cannot help but notice the place is a total dump. He just knocks on the door, trying to finish another routine job, but the guy who answers looks like he has been awake for 3 days straight. This whole vibe is immediately off and Wang Han is on alert. Then a woman inside starts screaming for help, so much for a normal delivery. Her captor grabs her, trying to shut her up while our boy watches from the door. His buddy tries to play it cool, telling Wang Han it is none of his business. These geniuses then decide the best course of action is to silence the witness, and our guy just cannot believe he stumbled right into a kidnapping. So the first goon steps out, ready to take care of the problem, only to get a swift kick that sends him flying back into the apartment. Wang Han is just annoyed he has to fight crime on his lunch break. This second kidnapper, armed with a knife, realizes this is no ordinary delivery guy. He still charges forward, screaming about what happens to busybodies. Wang Han stops the knife attack with one hand, mocking his pathetic skill. Then just casually twists the guy's arm and punches him in the face. Suddenly, the tough guy is on the floor screaming for someone to save him, leaving Wang Han standing over the two failed criminals completely unfazed. His expression just screams, "Is this really my life now?" This woman on the bed begs Wang Han to save her. He starts untying her, calmly asking if she is able to walk, and even drapes his jacket over her shoulders. What a guy. With the police on their way, he tells her to call her family, then grabs some rope to go deal with the human garbage. He ties up the two kidnappers, lecturing them on their poor life choices. This woman introduces herself as Zia Waniang, thanking him profusely. Suddenly, her phone starts ringing off the hook, and for some reason, she just hands it to Wang Han to answer. He picks up, only to get an earful from a woman yelling about him getting married. Turns out it is his big sister, who is now demanding to meet his fiancée tonight. She hangs up before he can even process the misunderstanding. Classic. At that exact moment, an old man and his guards burst into the room. It is her dad, arriving to find his daughter safe and the bad guys hogtied. He rushes to embrace her, just relieved she is not hurt. She immediately points to Wang Han, explaining he is the one who saved her. Our boy just coolly tells the guards to take the criminals away. This father offers his sincere thanks for the heroic rescue, but he is also sensing an insane aura. This is no ordinary delivery guy. He introduces himself, offering a business card and pegging Wang Han as a grandmaster. Wang Han politely takes the card, recognizing the guy's martial arts school. This old man tries to offer him a high-paying job, but our boy is not for hire. As he walks out, the father just wishes he could recruit such a prodigy. Down on the street, he casually strolls back to his bike past the arriving police. All he can think about is finding Su Chi after this ridiculously eventful delivery, and with a quick peel out, he is gone, leaving the scene behind. Meanwhile, at a completely different skyscraper, trouble is brewing for Su Chi. Some guy in a suit flew in from abroad, claiming he is here to solve her problems. She immediately tells him thanks, but no thanks, the company has it handled. He keeps pressing his case, only for her to tell him to stay away. This genius then grabs her wrist, begging her to be his, a classic bad move, so she shoves him off, dropping the "I am married and pregnant" combo to shut him up. His entire world just short-circuits, absolutely refusing to believe it, and right on cue, Wang Han strolls in with lunch, noting another love rival. This suit is furious at the interruption, but Su Chi is just surprised to see him. He is just bringing food for the baby, which she uses to introduce her husband. Our boy is just soaking it in, loving the sound of that word. This sends the other guy into a total meltdown, pointing and sputtering. Wang Han just tells him the door is over there, as he and his wife would like some privacy. Then he turns his back, leaving the rejected suitor to process his total defeat. This rejected suit storms out, vowing this is not over and demanding people get fired. Wang Han just brags about how his so-called rival was a total weakling. But Su Chi shuts that down, clarifying he is not a rival if she has no feelings for him. He plays it cool while she starts to enjoy the lunch he brought. And then he suddenly starts closing the lid on her food, trying to take it back, saying no feelings means no free lunch. She immediately pulls the pregnancy card. He is the father, so he has to feed her. After one bite, she has to admit his cooking is incredible, much to his delight. She even offers to fund a restaurant for him, but he smugly says not just anyone can eat his food. This gets her a little jealous, asking just how many other women he has cooked for. He claims he has only cooked for one, then quickly pivots, it is for the baby, not her. Trying to change the subject, she asks why he is not wearing his uniform. And he casually mentions lending his jacket to a sexy girl he rescued, a tactical error. She immediately kicks him out, telling him to go find his new friend. From outside the door, he tries to tell her not to get angry, which never ever works. Inside, she is left fuming about this mystery sexy girl. Still stewing, she glances at her phone, only to see a text from Kid's dad about working hard to buy milk powder. Her anger completely vanishes as he invites her to dinner as the child's father. Meanwhile, Wang Han stands outside, just thinking to himself what a stubborn woman she is. He is just loving that she called him child's father instead of husband. A moment later, he is on his bike, ready for his next appointment. Speeding through the streets, he is off to meet his big sister. He arrives at a seriously fancy villa for this supposed family dinner. Inside, a woman immediately starts yelling about why he has been brought here again. But the lady on his arm, Yinian, announces he is her husband, so there. This sends the other woman into a spiral. She married a delivery guy. Yinian is not backing down an inch, staring daggers at her family. From the stairs, two men try to de-escalate the situation. One of them even plays nice, welcoming his new brother-in-law with a big smile. This couple is sent upstairs to change while the rest of the family just glares. Downstairs, the plotting begins as the aunt reveals she has invited a young Master Chin. They are both thrilled at the idea of teaching this trash a lesson. And right on cue, the replacement suitor arrives for this ambush dinner. He is totally clueless, just asking why he was summoned in such a hurry. Coming back down, Yinian spots the extra guest and immediately knows something is up. She asks why an outsider is here for what is supposed to be a family meal. Her aunt just waves dismissively, telling her to sit next to young Master Chin. But there is a slight problem. There is only one chair left for the two of them. This man at the head of the table clarifies that is because riffraff do not get a seat at their table. Yinian fires back, asking why her man cannot have a seat. This patriarch ends the debate. If you cannot sit, you can squat. She offers to stand so Wang Han can sit, ever the supportive fake wife. This just enrages her father, who orders her to sit by young Master Chin. Wang Han just glares at the competition, who immediately starts sweating bullets. And just like that, young Master Chin is offering up his own chair. What a gentleman. This aunt is absolutely losing her mind over this sudden display of cowardice. But Chin insists, saying if Wang Han is not worthy, then neither is he. Our boy then tells Kid's mom to sit down since she is pregnant, dropping a tactical nuke. He even serves her meat, leaving the entire family just staring in total confusion. Meanwhile, the cousin pulls Chin aside, promising him a little surprise. Back at the table, Wang Han and Yinian toast, completely ignoring the drama. This surprise is, of course, a knockout drug in her wine, a classic villain move. Young Master Chin realizes this idiot is trying to get him killed and freaks out. He sprints back to the dining room, screaming that the wine is drugged. With the plan exposed, he immediately points the finger at the cousin. Not my fault. Yinian, absolutely furious, smashes her glass right into the schemer's face. This cousin is just left bleeding and speechless, his brilliant plan in shambles. Wang Han slowly gets to his feet, cracking his knuckles for the main event, and delivers a punch that was definitely a long time coming. Wang Han stands over the unconscious cousin, threatening to kill him if he ever touches his wife again. With the trash dealt with, Yinian declares the place too filthy and decides it is time to go. This other family members are left to tend to their bruised and battered schemer. Later, in a sleek sports car, she asks for an explanation about the night's events. She is particularly curious why young Master Chin was so terrified of him. Our boy just smirks, saying some people only learn respect after a good smackdown. So humble. She calls him out for bragging, reminding him that his status makes fitting in with her family difficult. He just scoffs, claiming his own family has far more rules than hers ever will. At that exact moment, a text message sends him into a full-blown panic. It is from someone named Rao Rushwang, giving him a 10-minute deadline to show up. This scene cuts to a fancy apartment building under a crescent moon. As they walk up, Yinian asks who he is so afraid of. He warns her his big sister is coming and to be careful, but she just dismisses his minor family. Wang Han just tells her she will find out soon enough, looking seriously stressed. They enter the apartment to find a woman in a blue dress waiting, coolly smoking a cigarette. He immediately plasters on a smile, playing the part of the happy little brother. This is Rao Rushwang, his big sister, and she looks like she means business. Her first word to him is not a greeting, it is a single, ice-cold command, kneel. And without a second's hesitation, our boy is on his knees, leaving Yinian speechless. Big sister then turns her gaze to the guest, telling her to come over too. Wang Han quickly explains his fake wife is pregnant, so no kneeling for her. Big sister hears pregnant and immediately gives Yinian the side-eye. After a moment of intense scrutiny, she is clearly not impressed, and then she just kicks her own brother for picking up bad habits. Our boy is on the floor trying to explain himself to a very intimidating high heel. She tells him to take his family punishment first, then he can talk. But Yinian heroically steps in, shielding him from Big Sister's wrath. She is absolutely furious, calling out the injustice of hitting him for no reason. Rao Rushwang calmly lists the family's many virtues before asking which rule he broke. Turns out he broke 3: unfilial marriage, indecent pregnancy, and choosing someone unwise. Yinian is not having it, demanding to know why she is not considered worthy. So Big Sister casually lists the 4 superelite fiancés he already turned down. Wang Han tries to de-escalate, still desperately trying to sell the pregnancy lie. That is the final straw for Yinian, who tells them both to stop acting. She has figured it out, laughing at how childish this whole performance is. Then she accuses him of making up this whole powerful family story out of insecurity. He insists it is all real but says he is done with this toxic environment for his kid's sake. As she walks out, he makes a critical error, accidentally calling her Su Chi. He tries to run after her, but Big Sister blocks the way, unmoved by his pleas. She dismisses Yinian as small fry, then reveals she is here on a mission from the old man. Big Sister reveals the old man's mission, an arranged marriage contract tied to a fancy bead. Wang Han is like, I am already married, which is technically a lie inside a lie. She just glares him into submission, reminding him who gives the orders around here. Meanwhile, Yinian is chilling at a friend's fancy villa after storming out. Her friend Zufu wonders if maybe Wang Han's whole powerful family act was actually real. But Yinian completely dismisses it. No way a saintess would fall for a delivery guy. Zufu points out the obvious trope, you cannot judge a book by its cover, especially not a delivery guy. This sudden defense of Wang Han makes Yinian super suspicious, and she immediately accuses her friend of hiding something, which devolves into some playful tickle fighting because of course it does. Changing the subject, Yinian asks for help contacting some mysterious big shot, and right on cue there is a knock at the door. It is some new suit Lin Jingpeng looking way too smug for his own good. He just so happens to know the exact big shot they were talking about, specifically the one who just invested $1 billion in a new project. Yinian is instantly hooked as he offers to make the introduction personally. Back with our boy, Wang Han is fuming on a balcony because Yinian will not answer his calls. When suddenly his phone dings with a new message. He gets his hopes up thinking it is Su Chi, only to be immediately let down. It is just the sexy girl he rescued asking about his jacket, and he coldly tells her to trash it. Meanwhile, some other suit is on a mission holding a weird bead. He gets a call with some seriously bad news and learns his buddy died a hero, drowning while saving people. Back with the girl Wang Han rescued, she is bummed he told her to trash his jacket. Now she is worried she will never see her mystery hero again. Her dad just waltzes into her room, completely ignoring the concept of knocking, playing innocent when she calls him out on it. then immediately gives her an assignment: attend some rich kid's birthday party. She refuses since this is the same ungrateful punk who almost drowned and dissed his rescuer. After some classic father-daughter bickering, he asks about the delivery kid. She sadly confirms Wang Han wanted nothing to do with her or his clothes. Her dad just sighs dramatically like some great romance has been thwarted. Cut to a fancy hotel where a mysterious van is pulling up. A new boss-type character steps out looking all serious, and his whole crew is there to greet him. We got a blind man and a smiling Buddha. They call him boss and he tells them it is showtime. As his squad heads inside, a fancy sports car arrives. This rescued girl steps out and spots the boss's back, thinking it looks familiar, but she just shakes it off, totally missing the obvious plot connection. Inside, the birthday boy is giving a speech about how lucky he is to be alive. This birthday boy, Zhou Feiyu, is busy bragging about surviving thanks to his amazing fate. He even got a 9-layer cake to celebrate his own greatness. But a reporter crashes the party, asking about the hero who actually died saving him. This question sends him into a full-on meltdown, demanding to know who let her in, and his goons immediately start dragging the reporter out of the room. She fights back while he screams that his survival was his own doing. What a class act. Just then, the rescued girl and her dad arrive, witnessing the whole ugly scene, and she is absolutely disgusted by his despicable behavior. Zhou Feiyu now has the reporter on the floor, threatening to teach her a lesson, raising his foot to stomp her while screaming that he will kill her. Suddenly, a shoe comes flying right at his face, smashing into him and sending the punk sprawling backwards, leaving him dazed and confused on the floor. Standing over him is Wang Han and his crew, asking who exactly he planned on killing, and the rescued girl is absolutely thrilled to see her hero again. From the ground, Zhou Feiyu orders his men to attack, a truly brilliant tactical decision, so his goons pull out their batons and charge forward like lemmings. Smiling Buddha effortlessly intercepts one with a kick, telling him to get lost, sending the poor guy flying across the room in a single hit. Another of Wang Han's team takes out a second goon with a brutal knee to the jaw. This green-haired brawler lands a vicious kick, dropping another guard instantly. And his buddy in the shades follows up with a clean right hook to another fool's jaw. With the trash taken out, Wang Han and his crew pose over the fallen goons, a total power move. Zhou Feiyu is absolutely shook, demanding to know who these guys even are. So our boy, now revealed as the boss, explains his brother was the hero who died saving people, adding that calling that hero a fool was a very, very bad idea. But the birthday boy doubles down, screaming his rich life is more valuable and calling for backup, which brings a fresh wave of goons in cheap suits and sunglasses flooding the room. Wang Han calmly offers one way out: apologize at his brother's grave or else. Naturally, the punk refuses and orders his men to kill them all. He learns so slowly. That is it for diplomacy, as Wang Han just grabs the nearest chair, completely done talking, and brings it down hard right on Zhou Feiyu's head, sending the little brat flying backwards into his own ridiculously huge birthday cake. Covered in frosting and humiliation, he can only kneel there and curse, while Wang Han looms over him, declaring that his one chance is officially used up. Then he just punts the guy's head like a soccer ball, because why not? As Zhou Feiyu lies defeated, Wang Han wonders aloud where this trash even came from. But just then, two very important-looking old guys make their grand entrance. And the birthday boy immediately starts crying for his daddy to save him. His father points right at Wang Han, ordering his bodyguard to kill him on the spot. This rescued girl begs her bodyguard to save Wang Han, her hero. So this Grandmaster bodyguard leaps in with a flaming fist, calling him a brat, only for smiling Buddha to catch it like it is absolutely nothing. This old guy is completely stunned. His ultimate move was just shut down. And Wang Han casually tells his boy to take care of this warm-up act. Smiling Buddha unleashes a move with a very poetic name, which basically just means he smashes the guy's face into the floor. Zhou Feiyu's dad sees his top man down for the count, totally confused, while the bodyguard recognizes the legendary diamond palm technique from a major family. Suddenly, Daddy Zhou is all smiles, trying to talk things out with his new friends. But Wang Han reminds him the time for diplomacy is long over. This old man offers $1,000,000 for his dead brother, a real class act, which earns him a swift kick from an absolutely furious Wang Han, who grabs him by the collar, livid at the insult. Yet the dad just laughs, saying a mechanic's life is cheap. So Wang Han threatens to bankrupt him and tells his man to make the call, giving the order to crash the entire Zhou family empire immediately. President Zhou thinks it is all a big joke, asking if they are filming a movie. Right before a panicked employee runs in with some very bad news. Turns out all their partners just bylaid and their factories are shut down by order of a clan that rivals nations. One of Wang Han's crew, Lei Ziohua, introduces himself with a smug little wink. And suddenly President Zhou is all smiles and apologies, recognizing this guy's family name. He immediately turns on his son, screaming at the little brat to get over there and beg for forgiveness. With Wang Han's foot on his back, the kid desperately begs his dad to call his powerful second uncle. Daddy Zhou tries to play his trump card, name-dropping his brother in military headquarters, but Wang Han is completely unfazed, telling his own guy Blindman to make a call. This order is simple: run a full background check on the entire Zhou family. And Blindman gets right on it, looking way too cool for this whole situation. As his crew drags the kid away, Wang Han tells them to call whoever they want. He really does not care. Jo Feiyu is still screaming for his uncle as his dad finally pulls out his phone, and right on cue the uncle calls first, making the old man think he has been saved. Instead, he gets an absolute earful from his brother, who is screaming that they have offended a military big shot. Turns out that one phone call got the uncle stripped of his rank and put under investigation. Oops. Cut to a massive cemetery because this is where apologies happen now. They have arrived at the grave of Wang Han's fallen brother, Tai Tu. This crew stands before the tomb and the order is simple: kneel. Jo Feiyu, with a foot on his head, tries to argue about the legality of all this. What a genius. Wang Han just tells him to shut up and kowtow to his brother. Then helps the apology along by slamming the kid's face right into the ground. This whole crew pays their respects, telling their brother they brought the punk who got him killed. Meanwhile, at the same cemetery, a new woman visits her grandma's grave. She confesses she is pregnant by a delivery guy her family totally disapproves of, and rants about how he faked being rich, concluding all men are trash naturally. Changing the subject, she talks about a mysterious benefactor who recently helped her, leaving some of her grandma's favorite snacks as an offering on the tombstone. As the rain starts pouring, she says her goodbyes for now, and heads back to her car where a driver is waiting with an umbrella. Inside, she is bickering with her cousin who is driving the car, when a massive limo suddenly cuts them off in the middle of the road. Her cousin is immediately furious, wondering which maniac is blocking their path. A whole squad of men in black steps out into the rain looking very official, opening the car door for their young master with the utmost respect. It is Wang Han and his crew, and he is ordering them to make arrangements for Tai Tu's daughter. From their car, her friend spots him, asking if that is the delivery guy she knows. Nanan is completely stunned, realizing the man she just badmouthed is right there. While one of his men holds the car door open for him like a chauffeur, her friend is losing her mind, asking who the heck is important enough to be Wang Han's doorman, and the cousin recognizes him instantly. It is the crown prince of the insanely powerful Lei clan. With their respects paid, Wang Han's motorcade heads out to visit Tai Tu's family. Still in shock, her friend tells her she better call that delivery guy back immediately. Nanan absolutely refuses to call him back, her pride fully engaged. Her cousin tries to play it off like they just imagined the whole motorcade scene, then smirks that he has already arranged for her to meet some big shot. Oh, this is gonna be good. This meeting is set for 2 days from now as they speed away, completely clueless. Meanwhile, Wang Han's limo rolls up to a quiet residential building, and the whole crew steps out, ready to visit their fallen brother's family. Wang Han politely asks a local grandpa if this is Tai Tu's house, but the old man has no idea who Iron Head is. A great start, so he clarifies with his brother's real name, Chen Qiang. This grandpa points them to the right apartment, asking if they are here to fight over the inheritance. As they head inside, he reveals that greedy relatives have already taken over the place. This first thing they find is a little girl, squatting all alone in the hallway. One of the crew is already fuming that someone would steal from their dead friend, and the girl explains her dad went to a faraway place. This is just heartbreaking. It dawns on them that this is Tai Tu's daughter left all alone. Wang Han gently asks why she is outside, and she says her aunt and uncle kicked her out. She then points to a cardboard box, saying her aunt told her that is her new home. This entire crew is absolutely livid, realizing these vultures made a kid live in a doghouse. So one of them skips knocking and just kicks the door right off its hinges, revealing the trashy relatives inside, stuffing their faces with crab while a child sits in a box. This uncle demands to know who is kicking down his door, which is not actually his door. So Wang Han and his crew step inside, asking when exactly he took ownership. This freeloader actually threatens to call the cops, claiming the house is his now, and Wang Han's response is a swift knee right to the guy's gut, sending him flying backwards as his wife screams about a home invasion. Holding the little girl's hand, Wang Han tells his boys to teach them some manners, and smiling Buddha looks absolutely thrilled to begin the lesson. This lesson, of course, is just him punching the uncle's face repeatedly. While the relatives beg for mercy, Wang Han calmly asks the little girl her name, Guo. His man points out the obvious: leaving her here is basically a death sentence. So Wang Han offers to take her with them, and she immediately agrees. He tries to pawn off parenting duties on his subordinate, who is not having it, and Guo pretty much seals the deal by grabbing onto his jacket. His buddy declares it is perfect, since he is married he can just be her godfather, leaving Wang Han to smirk at how he has suddenly become a family man. This very next day, they are all settled into a fancy new apartment, with Wang Han in full dad mode, serving breakfast and talking about school. As they eat, he gets a text from his wife, who is less than cooperative. She basically tells him to stay away until their own child is born. So much for newlywed bliss. He just sighs about her temper as Guo happily calls him godfather. Wang Han agrees to take Guo to school, full-on dad mode activated. They arrive at a seriously fancy private school, no expense spared for his brother's kid. Inside, he gives her the study hard speech while they walk the halls, and he is greeted at the principal's office like the VIP he is. This principal introduces him to the new teacher, a Miss Zia, and our boy is completely floored because he actually knows her. She is just as shocked, happily recognizing her brother Wang. After the surprise reunion, she asks if the little girl is his daughter, so Wang Han just rolls with it, patting her head and saying yes. This principal, seeing they are old friends, eagerly passes the kid off to her care. And with Guo in good hands, Wang Han prepares to head off to work. This kid waves goodbye, calling him godfather as he leaves. He just smiles back, promising to pick her up later. Once he is gone, the teacher asks about it and Gyu Gyu explains her real dad's in heaven. Teacher Zia looks genuinely touched by the little girl's sad story. Meanwhile, Wang Han reflects on his new dad duties while hopping on his bike, when a very forward woman calls asking if her bastard missed her. He is totally caught off guard, calling her eldest princess and demanding to know how she got his number. She basically threatens to show up and beat him up, but he reminds her he is married now, which does not stop her at all because she even knows his wife's name. He is absolutely fuming that this eldest princess investigated him, telling her to back off, but she just hangs up on him, leaving our boy staring at his phone in disbelief. This next morning, it is back to dad duty as he drops Guo Guo off at her new school and decides he should probably give his wife a heads up about the crazy lady coming to town. His text is basically ignore the woman with the ponytail, and his wife's reply is a salty, did you hire another actor? Wang Han just sighs, concluding that women are in fact very difficult. Then it is back to the grind, zipping off on his bike for another delivery, already running late. This destination, however, is a massive, ridiculously opulent mansion, a fact that does not go unnoticed by our undercover billionaire. He rings the doorbell like any other delivery guy, announcing the food has arrived, and a woman opens the door as he politely hands over the package. Turns out it is his wife Suchi, and she is completely stunned to see him there. Wang Han just flashes a charming smile, playing it off as a total coincidence. When her friend asks who is at the door, Suchi quickly dismisses him as just the delivery guy. This friend comes over, asking if they know each other, and Suchi admits they were junior high classmates, which is news to the friend who was also in their class and has no memory of him. He smoothly introduces himself with a fake name, claiming he was a nobody back then. But another guy shows up and immediately calls his bluff. There was no one by that name in their class. This dude then scoffs, saying none of their classmates would ever end up as a delivery boy, before condescendingly asking Suchi why a big boss like her even knows such a person. This jerk launches into a lecture about the gap in society, warning Suchi about associating with the lower class. Turning to Wang Han, he asks why he is still there before pulling out his wallet to make a big show of it, and then offers a pathetic tip with a smug grin, calling it a reward. What a genuinely nice person. Our boy is internally debating a good old-fashioned slap while the rich guy just assumes he wants more money, but Wang Han just smirks, takes the cash, and plays the part with a perfect thank you, boss. At that moment, a new woman appears at the top of the stairs, and the rich guy immediately presents the pizza like a servant, only for her to completely ignore him and light up, recognizing brother Wang at the door. Wang Han plays it cool, greeting teacher Zia and confirming that yes, the world is indeed very small. This rich guy is absolutely baffled, but she proudly announces that Wang Han is her savior. She tries to invite him in for a break, but he politely declines, saying he has still got deliveries to make. Her friend then chimes in with some classic condescension about how people like him need to earn money. So Wang Han decides it is time to leave, but teacher Zia immediately runs after him. She boldly asks him for a ride since she did not bring her own car today, which causes her friends to panic, offering a Porsche and calling his bike a dangerous scooter. Of course, his scooter is actually a slick sports bike, making them all look like idiots. Suchi, meanwhile, is just watching this whole mess with her arms crossed, offering zero help, and teacher Zia happily hops on the back, waving goodbye to the stunned onlookers. They speed away from the mansion, leaving the drama far behind them. Back on the porch, the rejected suitor tries to get Goddess Su to come eat, but her expression says it all. She just announces she has urgent business and walks off, completely shutting down his offer to drive her. Wang Han and teacher Zia cruise through the city on his bike. Playing the gentleman, he asks if he is going too fast for her, but she just leans in closer, saying it is perfect. Oh, this is a vibe. Suddenly, a fancy red sports car pulls up right beside them. And of course it is his wife Suchi, offering teacher Zia a ride she definitely does not want. Teacher Zia tries to get him to take the car, but he is not about to get stuck with the kid's mom, so she asks him to dinner instead, only for our boy to claim he has gotta work. Her persistence forces him to make a hasty exit for deliveries real smooth. Waving goodbye, she sweetly tells him to be safe on the road, while he just sighs, concluding that women are an unsolvable mystery. Later that evening, it is back to full-on dad mode, walking Gyu Gyu home. And he promises to cook, which Gyu Gyu is thrilled about. But at their door, they find a pair of unfamiliar high heels. Uh-oh. Inside, steam is billowing out of the bathroom, and out walks the eldest princess in a towel, asking why her darling is so late. Wang Han immediately covers Gyu Gyu's eyes, demanding she get dressed in front of a child. But the uninvited guest just smirks, asking who this little girl is. He declares she is his daughter, trying to prove he is a married man. And this woman's response is to tell the kid to call her mom, zero boundaries. Our boy absolutely loses it, screaming at her for the sheer nonsense she is spouting. He tells the half-dressed woman not to be a bad influence on the kid, but she just leans in, declaring herself Gyu Gyu's new mom. So Wang Han quickly sends the little girl off to do her homework. And once she is gone, the real confrontation begins. This eldest princess immediately grabs him, furious he got married behind her back. And her first move is a low blow that leaves him completely stunned, followed by a high kick to the face, asking if he missed her special brand of affection. Our boy is just screaming at her to put some clothes on, totally flustered, while she calmly threatens him for daring to marry another woman. He tosses her a jacket, desperately trying to remind her he is a taken man. but she already knows everything, calling his marriage a shotgun wedding. Wang Han just wants to know how long she is staying and, more importantly, when she is leaving. And she reveals she is in town for business with some partner he might know. He's just massively relieved she is not here to bother his actual wife. Suchi trying to change the subject, he suggests they all go get some food, which only earns him a smug look as she mocks his new dad persona. Then she is right back in his personal space, getting way too close for comfort. Asking why he is acting like a saint with her when he is clearly not with others. At that exact moment, Guo reappears, announcing she is hungry, and immediately covers her eyes at the very adult scene unfolding in the living room. Wang Han tells the half-dressed woman to stop messing around so they can all go eat, and then takes charge, grabbing Guo's hand and threatening to leave without her. She just smirks to herself, vowing that he will be hers eventually, zero chill detected. So off they go to some ridiculously high-end restaurant in the city, where they get the full VIP treatment with Auntie Jiang footing the bill. Except she immediately corrects the kid, insisting on being called godmother from now on. They are shown to a massive private room, which Wang Han begrudgingly accepts. Godmother Jiang then loudly complains that he is not playing along with her new family fantasy, while in another room, two shady businessmen are talking shop. One reports that a big project got snatched and it is tied to someone named Lin Qingyun, but the project is now in the hands of his wife, Su Qi, who they clearly despise. This boss hatches a plan, smear Su Qi using her delivery boy husband to get the project back. His lackey praises the scheme just as a waiter walks in to serve them, and the boss immediately recognizes the waiter's face from somewhere important. His subordinate scoffs that it cannot be Su Qi's husband, but the boss goes to check anyway, only to see Wang Han having dinner with another woman and a child. Jackpot. This three of them are having a great time, looking for all the world like a happy family, which has the villain absolutely giddy, thinking he has just caught the delivery boy cheating. After their meal, Godmother Jiang walks them out, promising more family outings soon. But later that night, she is right back at his apartment, wondering why he is not home. On the way home, Wang Han tries to play the part of the perfect dad with his fake family, only to run face first into his actual wife, Su Qi. Busted. This awkward silence that follows is absolutely deafening, and Jiang Tang immediately introduces herself to Su Qi, staking her claim. Our boy panics, claiming she is his second aunt, a lie so bad it is almost impressive. Then tries to make a run for it, saying he was just passing by his own apartment. Su Qi's death glare, however, stops him dead in his tracks, so he weakly suggests she should eat something before she goes, which is when Jiang Tang pounces, asking why a married couple is not living together. Cornered, Su Qi just orders him to open the door and he practically jumps to obey, realizing he is now trapped between two women in what feels like a war zone. Inside, he tries to de-escalate, sending Guo to her room while he offers to cook, and Su Qi immediately asks when the heck he learned to do that. After she smugly recalls he only cooks for her, Jiang Tang demands a meal for herself too, but Wang Han points out she just ate enough for 3 people. Her response is a pouty "I am hungry again," because of course it is. Su Qi has officially had it, telling her rival to act normal for once, before offering her a bottle of water with some greater passive aggression. This too trades some seriously sharp barbs about who is older, but Jiang Tang just ignores it, yelling for brother to hurry up with her food. Wang Han serves up a bowl of noodles for his wife, and Su Qi just stares at it, a little surprised by the gesture. But Jiang Tang immediately gets handsy, demanding he feed her too, while Su Qi just starts eating, completely ignoring the drama. She compliments his cooking, then casually drops that she is pregnant and craving sour things, which sends Wang Han into a panic while Jiang Tang just keeps demanding food. At that moment, Guo appears, asking for a bedtime story, and Jiang Tang jumps at the chance, calling herself mom again, but the kid just calls her auntie, prompting an immediate correction. This rival even tries bribing the kid with candy. This is getting desperate. Su Qi finally steps in, telling her to stop pressuring the child, calmly calling Guo over to her side in a total power move, and then tells the little girl to call asterisk her mom instead. Oh, it is a showdown. This poor kid is just frozen, caught between two dueling matriarchs, while Wang Han looks on, completely useless in this domestic war zone. After a tense moment, Guo makes her choice, calling Su Qi mom. And Su Qi leads her away with a perfect parting shot for her rival. Now Wang Han has to serve the very pouty loser of the mom off, trying to set boundaries by offering her a separate room for the night. But she immediately finds the weak spot, asking why a married couple is not sleeping together. Wang Han, smoking on the couch, tells his uninvited guest to eat and go to sleep. And then his actual wife, Su Qi, tells him to go to bed, which he meekly accepts, leaving Jiang Tang fuming that he is never this obedient for her. This next morning arrives, bringing a whole new level of chaos, and our boy starts his day with a casual handstand on the balcony, as one does. Su Qi finds him upside down, completely unfazed, and just tells him breakfast is ready. But she is all business, saying she is skipping the meal to head to the office, and she even refuses his offer of a ride, telling him to take Guo to school. He tries offering to pick her up later, but gets shot down again. The ice is real. Wang Han just smirks, thinking she's got quite a temper, which is a bold take right now. Meanwhile, Su Qi gets a frantic call while driving. A media smear campaign has just dropped, and she is furious to hear her entire project has been put on hold because of it. This news link shows the photos from dinner, painting her as a homewrecker. The villain's plan is working. She is absolutely livid, demanding to know who is behind the attack. While back at the apartment, Jiang Tang gleefully announces the bad news, telling a clueless Wang Han to see for himself if he does not believe her. He looks at the phone and his expression turns to ice. Someone has a death wish. Wasting no time, he calls up an associate named Wenlong to handle the problem. While across town at a fancy hotel, this villain, young Master Su, is celebrating his little scheme in a hotel room. He is feeling pretty good about himself, lounging in bed with a companion, and he is ready to celebrate Su Chi's imminent downfall, except his private party is interrupted by a swift kick to the door. In the doorway stands a welcoming committee of very large, very serious-looking men, and the villain immediately recognizes their leader. Boss Wen, his good mood is officially dead. Wen Long tells him to get dressed because someone important is here to see him. And he is really not in the mood for questions, just immediate compliance. Then the crowd parts and in walks Wang Han looking like he owns the place. While the villain cannot believe his eyes, it is the delivery boy. He starts screaming, demanding to know what a peasant like him is doing there. But Wang Han just stares him down, completely unfazed by the tantrum. Instead of answering, our boy just picks up the nearest heavy object and promptly introduces it to the villain's skull, problem-solving at its finest. Stunned and bleeding, the guy asks if Wang Han has a death wish, which earns him a slap that could probably be heard from space. That 1-2 combo sends him straight to the floor, where Wang Han grabs him by the collar for a little heart-to-heart. He demands to know how he could do this to his own sister, but the villain just spits insults. And that is when Wang Han's eyes go full-on demon mode. He is done talking. Another punch sends the guy flying because some people just need to learn the hard way. Young Master Su tries bribing the muscle, offering double to switch sides, which earns him a swift kick to the face for his total lack of respect. When Long then asks for orders and our boy lays out the plan, make him retract everything. With a firm grip on his head, when Long makes sure the message is crystal clear. But the pathetic villain is still begging for help, not quite getting the picture. So another slap is delivered to help him focus on the current reality. Suddenly, he is very cooperative, promising to call off the media immediately. When Long just smirks that all this pain could have been avoided with a little obedience. Meanwhile, back at Su Chi's corporate headquarters, the crisis is in full swing, where her assistant reports the media wants an insane 80 million to kill the story. Just then, 2 angry old relatives storm in, accusing her of shaming the family. And she tries to explain it is not true, but they are not here to listen. They have already labeled her a homewrecker and called in another president to handle things, while the family elder demands she fix this mess now, regardless of the truth. Their solution is for her to hand over control of the company. What a surprise. Her uncle rubs it in, saying she was just lucky to get the project anyway. But Su Chi is not backing down, refusing to surrender her power over a blatant setup. This defiance earns a dramatic cane slam from the old man, who insists she is too young and corrupt to be in charge, and right on cue the president they called for arrives at the door, and it is a new President Liu, here to witness the family coup in person. Her uncle immediately starts sucking up, apologizing for the scandal he helped create, while the old man demands she hand over the project, but Su Chi vows to fix it herself. Just then her assistant bursts in. The entire media crisis has been resolved, which leaves Su Chi completely stunned, wondering how that is even possible. These 2 schemers are equally shocked, finding all the negative articles have vanished. After the old man tries one last pathetic plea, President Liu shuts him down cold, and with a wave she announces she is leaving, having seen quite enough of this circus. Su Chi quickly calls out for her to wait a moment, asking if she could possibly meet the mysterious boss who just saved her. President Liu just gives a sly smile, saying her boss is a bit of an enigma. With that, she is gone, leaving the failed usurpers stewing in their own failure. Her uncle throws out a final threat, but Su Chi just fires back about who is really ruining the family. Alone, she sits and wonders who on earth could have pulled this off for her. Then she sees a news headline about a deliveryman being fired over the scandal. Meanwhile, over at the delivery center, Wang Han casually rolls up on his bike back to his day job. His first move is to ask a buddy for a power bank for his dead phone, but his friend is panicking, telling him he is all over the news. Wang Han could not care less about the gossip until he gets the real news: he has been fired. Wang Han just scoffs, asking who in their right mind would dare fire him. But his co-workers spot the station manager approaching, speak of the devil. This guy makes it official. Wang Han's fired for the bad press he has caused. And our boy tries to argue the story was fake, but the manager is not hearing it. Instead, he offers a pity job as a security guard through his cousin. What a saint. He even lights Wang Han's cigarette while giving some truly awful advice about not mooching off women, handing over a business card as our boy has to pretend to be grateful for this opportunity. His coworkers then give their 2 cents, telling him to tone down the bragging at his new dead-end job. Just as he is brushing them off, a woman's voice asks if Wang Han is around, which makes his buddy's jaw drop to the pavement. A very elegantly dressed woman has arrived looking for Brother Wang. It is Guo's teacher, and now everyone is completely baffled. She explains his phone was off, so she had to ask around to find him here. And Wang Han asks what is up, with his nosy coworkers practically taking notes. Turns out her father wants to meet him, and this is not the place to talk. So he smoothly agrees, saying he was just leaving anyway, since he just got canned. As they ride off, the gossip mill starts churning, with his friends convinced he is about to be a dad. This manager shuts them up with a kick, telling them to get back to work instead of being jealous. But before they can leave, another fancy car screeches to a halt right in front of them. They are all wondering about the sudden parade of luxury cars as a high heel steps onto the pavement. A very confident woman in a crop top rolls up asking for Wang Han, and his coworkers are absolutely floored, demanding to know who she is to him. She just smirks and drops a bomb: "I am his wife." This guy's completely lose it, screaming about asterisk another wife, our boy is a legend. One of them helpfully points her in the direction Wang Han just left with the teacher, which does not amuse this new wife, who mutters that he runs fast. Meanwhile, Wang Han is on a bike with the teacher, totally unaware of the chaos he has left behind, and they pull up to the massive White Tiger martial arts hall. She leads him inside, explaining her father is just upstairs, where a beefy disciple named Kang greets her, clearly interested. After she introduces Wang Han, Kang immediately sizes him up as a new apprentice. But she corrects him with a smile: this is the new asterisk instructor her father hired. Kang scoffs, saying this skinny guy could not even take a slap, the disrespect is real. When she tells him to back off, he physically blocks her path, then tries asking her out with concert tickets, only to be told she has plans with Wang Han. To really rub it in, she grabs our boy's hand and tells the musclehead to move, walking right past him up the stairs, leaving him to stew in his own rejection. This camera gives us a nice romantic close-up on their hands, because of course it does, and Kang is officially seeing red, vowing to tear this little bastard apart. Finally, they enter a room to meet her father, who is waiting at a tea table. Her father, Master Zia, is all smiles, playfully scolding her for not rolling out the red carpet for such a guest. And he gives Wang Han a very formal handshake, full of respect, which is, of course, a secret martial arts power check, complete with a fiery aura. This old man is immediately impressed by our boy's internal force. Then he introduces another master, explaining this is the hero who saved his daughter. Master Zia gets right down to business with a job offer: be an instructor and get 5% of the hall's shares in a year. And while his daughter insists Wang Han is not motivated by money, our boy immediately corrects her: he is broke and just got fired. Delighted by the honesty, the master offers a cool 50,000 a month, and Wang Han accepts on the spot because a man's gotta eat. These two old guys are absolutely thrilled, celebrating their new hire like they just won the lottery. So with the contract basically sealed, it is time for a tour of the place. Down on the main floor, Master Zia calls all the students to gather round, where he proudly introduces Wang Han as the new instructor, who gives a polite little speech. The students, however, are not impressed, especially Kang, who immediately starts sizing him up, asking what styles he knows, practically begging for a confrontation. Wang Han just casually lists off a library's worth of martial arts he has dabbled in, which earns him a jab about biting off more than he can chew, but his comeback is perfect: "I have a big appetite." This peanut gallery agrees, calling him all talk and demanding a spar to prove he is not a fraud. This teacher tries to shut it down, but Kang is not backing off, saying they cannot have a soft-footed shrimp teaching them, and his buddies eagerly agree, wanting to see their senior brother test the new guy's skills. Master Zia suggests Wang Han give the students a little demonstration, and our boy is happy to oblige. So Kang steps up, promising not to kill him with his super strong punches. What a gentleman. Wang Han just smirks back that, what a coincidence, he hits hard too. Then Kang raises the stakes with a wager: if he wins, he gets to take the teacher to a concert. Our boy smoothly deflects that it is her call, while she asks what happens if Kang loses. This meathead just scoffs, saying if he loses, Wang Han can have anything he wants. So the teacher sets the terms: lose and the tickets are theirs, a deal is struck. Kang even asks the master what to do if he accidentally injures the new guy, earning a sharp rebuke. Ignoring everyone, he tells the crowd to make room for the show, but Wang Han is just like, "Hit me." Kang's face is pure contempt, absolutely convinced this is all just big talk. With a battle cry, he lunges forward to test just how much worth Wang Han has, and immediately gets his punch blocked with a casual hand to the face, not even a flinch. A simple push sends the big guy stumbling backward, completely off balance. Wang Han's grip is just absolute, stopping all of Kang's momentum cold. Then a swift kick follows and the fight is pretty much over. Our boy's final verdict: speed's okay, power's lacking, go practice more, kid. As Kang chokes on the floor, the teacher is already cheering about how amazing her brother Wang is. Master Zia explains to his friend that was only 30% power anymore and Kang would be hospitalized. This defeated challenger can only kneel there and curse him under his breath, ego completely shattered. But just as Wang Han turns away, Kang lunges from behind for a desperate sneak attack. Kang's sneak attack is on, screaming about sending our boy to hell. But Wang Han just flips him over his shoulder like a sack of potatoes. This sore loser gets up, lecturing about how kindness is for suckers. Everyone calls him out for having zero martial virtue, but he just smirks. Then he declares winner takes all before trying to stomp him flat, only for Wang Han to sidestep, letting him kiss the mat instead. Now our boy is just toying with him, dodging every clumsy attack with ease. Kang gets even madder, screaming at him for only running away. Wang Han finally stops, coolly informing him his punches are way too slow. Then he drops a whole kung fu lesson about how speed is everything, which just makes the musclehead scream for less talk and more fighting. So he throws a flurry of attacks and Wang Han dodges them all like it is a dance. Another easy block is followed by more taunts about how pathetic this is. Kang completely loses it, screaming about his 15 years of training while going for a kill shot. Even the masters see it, he is aiming an elbow straight for the heart. This teacher can only watch in horror, worried for her new favorite instructor, but Wang Han catches the blow without even blinking, casually saying, "I told you." He just holds him there, finishing his sentence one word at a time. "You are too slow," punctuating it with a kick right to the chest. And just like that, the senior brother is out cold, leaving everyone completely speechless. This teacher is all over him, calling him amazing as our boy just soaks it in. Meanwhile, the old masters are blown away, already calling him a grandmaster and a future son-in-law. Wang Han gives a fake apology for the beatdown, but Master Zia just praises his skills, then invites him for a private chat while Kang's buddies scrape him off the floor. A quick phone check reminds him he has got dad duties, time to deliver food. But look at that, a message from his wife Su Chi has come through. She offers him a pity job for 10K, so he flexes back with his new 50K salary. Her reply to be practical just proves she still does not trust him at all, so he sends a picture of the contract as proof, which shuts her up real quick. Then she mentions she is off to meet a very important person, and his alarms go off. He immediately asks if it is a guy, but she tells him to get his mind out of the gutter. Our boy is still convinced she is walking into a scam, the poor naive thing. So he hops on his bike, calling in a favor to track her location, only to get a flat no. After insisting it is serious, his contact finally agrees to help. And the news is not good. Suchi is drinking with another man. Worse yet, the contact reveals the guy just spiked her drink. What a total creep. Wang Han absolutely loses it, rage mode fully activated, vowing on his bike that he is going to absolutely end this guy. This city becomes a blur as he races to the scene. Pulling up to a fancy hotel where someone is about to have a very, very bad day. Inside the hotel room, Su Chi is passed out on the bed as the creep looms over her, and he smugly explains he drugged her water. What a class act. This guy is absolutely loving this, rubbing his hands together like a cartoon villain. His brilliant plan is to film her for blackmail, mostly just to spite her husband. With his phone ready, he gleefully announces the show is about to begin. But the door is suddenly kicked clean off its hinges. This creep is furious, yelling about the do not disturb sign, completely missing the vibe here. Then he sees Wang Han, who looks ready to commit several felonies. Our boy does not waste a single second on words, just pure immediate violence. His only promise is to absolutely end the scumbag, and a single brutal punch sends the suit-wearing trash flying. This guy is completely stunned, wondering what the hell just hit him. He actually tries to throw a punch back, which is just adorable. So Wang Han easily dodges and slams a vicious elbow into his spine. He goes flying across the room like a discarded toy. Now on the floor, the creep tries to buy his way out by name-dropping Grandpa. That threat earns him a boot coming straight for his teeth, which connects beautifully, but he is still running his mouth about killing families. A foot on the head finally changes his tune from threats to desperate bribery. But the pressure just keeps getting applied as the creep can only scream in pain. He turns to see Su Chi on the bed, completely out of it and burning up from the drug, which earns the creep another brutal stomp to the mouth for calling him an animal. With the trash temporarily neutralized, he helps Su Chi drink some water. But the scumbag is already on the phone, crying to his grandpa for a rescue. His desperate call is cut short by a rather intimidating shadow looming over him. And with one swift kick, Wang Han disconnects that call for him. After a quick change of scenery, our boy is calmly waiting while the creep is face down on the floor. When a well-dressed old man arrives, addressing Wang Han as young master. Wait, what? This gets a very confused look from Wang Han, who is pretty sure the grandson is the puddle on the carpet. This old man formally apologizes for his grandson's lack of discipline, as the little brat screams for Grandpa to attack. Now the creep is just baffled, asking if Grandpa seriously came alone to his own rescue mission. His reward is a solid whack from Grandpa's cane, who asks if he is actively trying to get them all killed, and another brutal smack silences him as Grandpa calls him an animal. With the trash now bowing on the floor, Grandpa calmly asks the young master what should be done. This penny finally drops for the creep, realizing exactly who he just tried to cross. Cool as ever, Wang Han reminds Old Lin that their sect has very specific rules for this. Old Lin confirms the punishment is castration, and Wang Han coldly tells him to do it himself. This grandpa now turns on his grandson, screaming about how he has disgraced the whole family. Trembling, the old man raises his cane, ready to enforce the sect's brutal justice. This cane comes down, the creep screams bloody murder, and a snail on the floor gets absolutely obliterated. Su Chi wakes up completely disoriented, wondering who the hell is screaming. Her friend rushes in, relieved she is okay and demanding to know where that creep went. Su Chi's memory is a blur, only recalling someone busting in to save her. With the immediate danger gone, her friend's only goal is getting them out of there. But just as they are about to leave, her friend spots a small, mysterious bead on the bed. Su Chi picks it up, a flicker of recognition on her face as her friend teases about her guy. She examines the bead, pretty sure her rescuer was exactly who she thinks it was. Now they are leaving for real, with Su Chi determined to find her hero and settle the score. Wang Han, meanwhile, is already gone, assuming she was probably scared out of her mind. He has got to hurry and finish his business with Old Lin before that guy completely flips out. Then a sudden panic hits, his bead is missing and he is worried he lost it back at the dojo. Elsewhere, a new set of villains is debriefing, with Grandpa wondering how his kid got wrecked by a delivery guy. This bruised-up lackey explains Wang Han is way more than he seems, with ties to the Black Dragon Society. A new guy in a bow tie just scoffs, acting like that is supposed to be impressive. This old man then pitches a brilliant plan to young Master Qin, just kill Su Qi to get their power back. His son is completely stunned by the casual murder plot, but young Master Qin is all in, declaring that both Su Qi and the delivery guy have to die. He wants it done immediately, no delays, no mercy. Fired up by this vote of confidence, the lackey vows to hire an assassin tonight, and completely unaware of the new hit on his head, Wang Han is just having a nice walk with his daughter. Back home, Wang Han is on dad duty, telling his daughter to do her homework. And her godmother happily offers to help with the schoolwork, but our boy's mind is still on Su Qi, worried after her terrifying ordeal. So he offers to bring her dinner only for her to say she is coming home. Just as he hangs up though, another call comes through. It is Sula, the bruised-up brother-in-law, suddenly wanting to make nice over dinner. His face still screams, "I hate you," but his words are all about family unity. And Wang Han is immediately suspicious of this sudden personality transplant. Meanwhile, young Master Qin is busy assaulting a police officer, who is, predictably, not a fan of that particular move, and promptly introduces his face to the floorboards with authority. His main takeaway from getting slammed is that she is fierce, what a charmer. While pinning him down, she calmly calls for some backup. So this genius tries claiming he is a model citizen just helping out. She has heard that one before and pulls out a fresh pair of cuffs just for him. He is genuinely shocked she is actually arresting him for his good deeds. But his pleas of misunderstanding get him cuffed anyway. Her logic is simple. The station separates the good guys from the bad, which leads them straight to the local police department for a little chat. Now in custody, his first request is a glass of water, cool as you like. This cop is not having his entitled attitude, reminding him the station is not a hotel. When her chief walks in, congratulating her on single-handedly catching 2 drug dealers, she plays it modest, saying one was already down when she got there. And her chief asks if she knows who the mystery helper was, but she has no clue. Young Master Qin immediately tries to claim the glory, earning a hand over his mouth for his trouble. This chief is now very curious about her cuffed-up model citizen. So she dismisses him as just some guy she arrested while he keeps protesting his innocence. But then another officer bursts in with a file, having identified the real vigilante, and the photo inside is, of course, our boy Wang Han. This chief immediately orders her to uncuff the guy in custody, trusting the system completely. With a click, the cuffs come off, freeing the very smug young Master Qin. This arresting officer admits he was right, and he gets to drop a nasty little insult about her intelligence, which leaves her absolutely fuming and bright red. He is already checking his phone, though, panicking that he is late and making a run for it. She can only yell threats at his back as he makes a clean getaway. Now in a taxi, he is in a huge hurry, but the driver is all about safety first. A fat wad of cash quickly changes the driver's philosophy on traffic laws. And that gas pedal gets slammed straight to the floor. This driver goes full initial D, promising to make it on time. His family runs a tofu shop naturally, but their destination is a massive building fire raging completely out of control. At the scene of the fire, bystanders can only watch the chaos unfold, and young Master Qin finally arrives, completely shocked by the blaze. When a housekeeper confirms his target, Su Qi, is definitely inside. That news sends a jolt of pure panic through him. This was not the plan. So he grabs the woman, desperately confirming Su Qi is trapped in the villa. Tossing his jacket, he makes the heroic and monumentally stupid decision to run in, as the fire crew screams at him for charging into an inferno with no gear. This housekeeper is left behind, praying for some kind of miracle. But at that exact moment, Su Qi herself pulls up to the scene, leaving the housekeeper absolutely speechless to see her alive and well. Her relief turns to horror, realizing some poor guy just ran into a fire for nothing, and Su Qi immediately asks who the hell is still inside the burning house. This woman explains a tall man rushed in the second he heard she was in danger, which makes Su Qi scream Wang Han's name and try to run in after him. As they hold her back, the housekeeper is already mourning his melted bones. Great pep talk. But Su Qi is completely distraught, convinced he is gone forever. She watches the firefighters battle the blaze, believing Wang Han just died for her, until a figure smashes through an upstairs window in a cloud of smoke. It is Wang Han, landing on the lawn as firefighters rush to extinguish his smoldering clothes. He stands up, brushing himself off and complaining that that burned like hell. Su Qi runs out, screaming Wang Han's name as he stands there covered in soot, and immediately tackles him in a hug, asking if he has an actual death wish. Crying, she asks what she and their child would even do if he died, but he just holds her, trying to play off his burns and scrapes like it is nothing. She is still scolding him while he jokes that saving his family is always worth it. Even the housekeeper insists he go to the hospital, but he is not having it. They all watch the firefighters douse the flames, wondering how the fire even started. And Wang Han's face goes grim. He is pretty sure it was Sula's doing. She wraps a blanket around him and they finally decide to just go home. Meanwhile, a little red car zips through the city streets at night. Back at their place, Su Qi connects the dots between Sula's dinner invite and the fire. She then reveals her trump card. She installed security cameras and has the footage on her phone. And bingo, the video shows Sula and his goons arriving, confirming everything. Wang Han calmly tells her to eat first, promising they will settle the score tomorrow. But she is absolutely fuming, vowing to never forgive them for this. Elsewhere, a red car pulls into a parking spot as a motorcycle approaches. This car nearly plows right into the bike, earning a very angry shout from the rider. And the driver is that cop from before, all smiles and apologies about her new license. Her friendly act drops the second she recognizes the guy she almost hit. It is Wang Han who sarcastically notes the coincidence of running into Officer Yang again. He asks what she is doing here and she fires back that she works at this dojo. Turns out she is an apprentice while he is the new guy who just started yesterday. But then two students walk by respectfully calling him Master Wang. Officer Yang is completely floored him, a martial arts instructor. She immediately calls him out since he could not even beat her, a very creative way to remember getting arrested. As he tries to leave, she demands a fight to prove he is not a fraud. Wang Han politely declines, claiming he does not fight women, a classic gentleman's excuse. She does not care about his principles and lunges at him anyway, so he offers a handicap, one hand, but if she loses, she has to do a naked run. Calling him a pervert, she launches a kick straight for his head, which he blocks with one hand, casually asking if that is all she has got. He shoves her back, but she is not giving up that easily. With a furious look, she powers up for another attack, leaping through the air with a flying kick. He dodges again, then asks if she got her police job through nepotism. That insult hits a nerve and she screams for him to shut up, unleashing another flurry of high-speed kicks, while he just keeps effortlessly dodging every single move. Fed up, she warns him not to get cocky and rushes in for a punch, finally landing a clean shot right on his jaw, but her punch is easily caught, stopping her dead in her tracks, and with a quick twist of the wrist, he has got her completely controlled. He pulls her in close, neutralizing her in the most dramatic way possible, which earns him a flustered pervert for his efforts, while she struggles, demanding he let her go immediately. Our boy just flashes a little peace sign behind her head, a true professional troll, then asks if she is ready to admit defeat, which she does through gritted teeth. His smug face says it all, time to pay up on that little bet, but she calls his bluff, agreeing to strip right then and there, sending him into a panic. She insists a martial artist keeps their word as she starts unzipping her jacket, then rips it open, challenging him to look his fill, checkmate. Wang Han immediately shields his eyes, screaming that he is a married man, before bolting up the stairs to escape his own terrible idea. Officer Yang just smirks, zipping up after successfully weaponizing her honor. Elsewhere, some buff dude is praising a woman's piano skills with zero subtlety, but she is not impressed, asking if he even knows what classical music is. Just then, Wang Han walks in, complimenting the teacher on her talent. So the buff guy challenges him, only for Wang Han to name the piece instantly. This teacher is surprised he knows it, but he one-ups her by naming his own favorite concerto, and now she is intrigued, asking if the new master can play a little something for her. This buff dude scoffs at his clumsy hands, but the teacher urges Wang Han to play something, so he sits down at the piano, ready to play a little tune for them. And of course he plays like a virtuoso, leaving the teacher completely enchanted. This leaves the buff guy absolutely seething. The kid can actually play. His fingers just fly across the keys with effortless grace and precision. After the performance, he even gives the teacher a few pointers on her own technique, which earns him a sharp rebuke from the buff guy for his arrogance. Just then, another woman walks in, drawn by the beautiful music, and she compliments the teacher on her improved skills, assuming she was the one playing. Trying to get rid of him, the buff guy tells Wang Han to scram since the lesson is starting, but the teacher quickly clarifies that Wang Han was the mystery pianist. This new woman turns to look at him, a flicker of recognition in her eyes, and she calls him Professor Wang, though he immediately tries to deny it. Everyone else is just confused, with the buff guy mocking the idea of a delivery boy professor, but she reveals she was his student at Berkeley, where he was a legendary music professor. Wang Han just brushes it off, saying he has to go home and cook. Priorities, man. Once he is gone, she explains he was an honorary professor whose classes were always packed. This buff guy's jaw just hits the floor, his entire reality crumbling before his eyes. She then asks the teacher why she'd need anyone else with Professor Wang around. Leaving the poor girl totally speechless, she had no idea who she was dealing with. Wang Han drops by Suchi's office with lunch, ever the doting husband, and she asks about his new dojo gig, which he says is a nice way to stretch. His phone suddenly rings, and it is the old man, which is never good news. On the other end, the old man is already yelling about his new career choice, even threatening to send Big Sister over for a little chat, which sounds terrifying. In fact, the old man already got him fired, micromanaging his life from afar. His new assignment is to retrieve a stolen Buddha head from a gang called the Strong, and this group is apparently a bunch of lunatics who do whatever they want. Plus, he has got to find another missing bead before the old man gets really mad. After hanging up, he plays it cool for Suchi, saying he just has a meeting. She just tells him to be careful as he heads out on his secret mission. That afternoon, he arrives at a fancy residential building for his new job. He meets a manager who is expecting him, sent by a brother Bing, but a security guard immediately recognizes him as the infamous delivery guy. Our boy tries to play dumb, but the guard is 100% sure it is him from the rumors. Before long, a whole crowd of guards gathers, desperate for the juicy details. And Wang Han is clearly not in the mood to share his life story. So the guard offers him a smoke, trying to bribe him for information, and Wang Han launches into a sob story about his rich in-laws hating him. But the guards call shenanigans. If he married rich, why is he working security? Wang Han's new co-worker starts gossiping about the Su family's daughter moving in, and our boy is completely stunned to hear she bought a house here. Just then, a fancy red car pulls up. It is President Su. But the person who gets out is not Su Chi, it is the big sister the old man mentioned. His buddy tries to drag him over, asking why he is suddenly so shy. This woman immediately calls him out, asking about his dojo job. He plays it cool, saying he quit, so she just orders him to come with her. As they walk off, the guards are absolutely living for this drama. Wang Han gives his nosy coworker a very subtle thank you for his help. She asks how long he planned on hiding his new security gig from her. He tries to deflect with a joke, but she offers to let him stay at her new place. Then she offers him a new job, be her personal driver for a fat paycheck. She claims it is her fault he lost his last job, so he owes her. And Wang Han has a minor crisis, wondering if he is a professional freeloader now. This next day, they pull up to a massive corporate tower. He gets out of the driver's seat, now officially on the clock. She has even set him up with his own office. The perks are pretty sweet. This guard salute her as CEO Sue, confirming she is a big deal. And the gossipy guard from before watches them go, totally confused by their dynamic. Elsewhere, a sleazy boss is threatening a female employee with layoffs. This employee, Lily, firmly rejects her boss's disgusting request, so he dangles $30K a month using her sick mother as leverage. What a prince. She tells him to have some self-respect, but he just grabs her, calling her a fake. His hands get way too close as he scoffs at her chaste act. Down the hall, a well-dressed stranger overhears the commotion, making a dry remark. Leaning in, he casually asks if he is interrupting some classic office harassment. Inside, the boss rips her shirt while she desperately screams for help. She tries to fight back, slapping his hand away and telling him to shut up. Just then, our hero pops his head in, asking if they are busy. Perfect timing. This boss completely loses it, demanding to know who the hell he is. With Lily now safely behind him, the creep screams for him to get lost. He even throws a kick, which gets blocked with embarrassing ease. And in a flash, the boss is eating the carpet, looking up in total shock. Our hero calls him out for trying to bully staff right in front of him. Getting to his feet, the boss threatens to call the cops for assault. Then he flips the script, accusing Lily of trying to seduce and bribe him. He is smugly confident the police will believe a man of his status. But our boy reveals his phone. He has been recording the whole thing. As the boss lunges for it, he gets a swift backhand for his trouble. Standing over him, the hero makes it clear he is not afraid to end him right here. This sleazy boss is on the floor, begging for mercy, a total change of tune. Our mystery hero reveals the video evidence, ensuring this creep will not try anything again. Elsewhere, Wang Han's security buddy gets an invite to a wedding from an old classmate. This woman eyes Wang Han, thinking he looks familiar, so his friend introduces him. Suddenly, she remembers him as the school's legendary troublemaker, the one getting yelled at every Monday. Wang Han just sips his drink, coolly claiming he does not dwell on past glories. She is still curious about his fancy suit, asking what he does for a living now. He gives her the most ridiculously over-the-top job title he can think of, something about biotransportation. When she asks for the simple version, he admits he is just a driver, peak deadpan delivery. His security guard friend absolutely loses it, trying not to spit take everywhere. Unfazed, she invites him to the wedding anyway, seeing it as a networking opportunity for him. With plans set for the next day, she heads off to her car. His buddy then pulls him aside, asking for a huge favor, a nice car to impress people at the wedding. Wang Han tells him to aim higher, promising to hook him up with a real luxury ride. Saying he has to head up, Wang Han leaves his very impressed coworkers behind. He heads back into the high-end residential tower where Big Sister lives. Inside, she is fresh out of the shower, and they immediately start questioning each other's timing. She playfully teases him, suggesting he is just mad she did not wait for him. After he shuts that down, she asks to borrow his car for the next day. Then she gets very asterisk suggestive, offering a different kind of ride. Right now, subtlety is not her strong suit. Wang Han tries to play the gentleman, telling her he is married while she is literally throwing clothes at him. But she is not having it, telling him to divorce Su Chi and marry her instead. To really drive the point home, she just drops the dress. Subtlety is dead. She grabs him, promising a full-on war with his wife for his affection. He shoves her off, dropping the ultimate shutdown line. Su Chi is pregnant. Defeated for now, she just says her car's in the shop until tomorrow afternoon. He brushes it off, saying he will figure something out for his buddy's wedding car. And by figure it out, he means casually ordering a Rolls-Royce Phantom from his butler, standard stuff. Later, he is walking down a hall complaining about his boring office job when something bounces off his head. A little boy is screaming at a crying girl, calling her a bastard with no father. Wang Han is just completely baffled by this random hallway demon. He immediately grabs the kid's wrist, demanding to know who he belongs to. This little monster actually threatens to slap him. This kid has zero survival instinct. So Wang Han applies just a little bit of pressure and the tough guy starts wailing. Right on cue, the kid's mom runs in and he immediately points the finger at Wang Han. She absolutely loses it, screaming at him for daring to touch her perfect child. He calmly offers to teach her son some manners for free, which she does not appreciate. She defends her son's cruelty, so he fires back that the apple does not fall far from the rotten tree. Just then, the little girl's mother rushes over looking for her daughter. This girl explains how the boy insulted her and spat at her, setting the stage for round 2. This bully's mom immediately starts spinning a tale about how her perfect son was just comforting the crying girl. This poor other mom is apologizing to Wang Han, thinking he is a manager while he just clenches his fist. Getting right in the first mom's face, he drops his title. He is President Su's personal driver. She just scoffs, threatening to get a lousy driver fired, a truly terrible life choice. As she storms off, the other woman begs him to apologize, revealing the bully's mom as the finance manager. Wang Han is completely unbothered, telling her to let the manager complain directly to his boss. Now the nice mom is panicking, sure that he is about to get ruined because of her. This finance manager bursts into the CEO's office, demanding Wang Han be fired for being a dangerous thug. Following right behind, Wang Han calmly offers to teach her son some manners free of charge. He then plops down in a chair like he owns the place while she keeps ranting, zero respect given. CEO Su just looks up from her book and tells the manager she can leave now. With an ice-cold stare, she repeats herself, making it very clear the discussion is over. After the manager scurries out, CEO Su tells him to remember to close the door. The second they are alone, he calls her out for wearing high heels while pregnant. He then kneels down, pulling out a pair of flats for her to wear instead. Her whole demeanor changes, thinking about how this man is someone she both loves and hates. Noticing her swollen foot, he offers to give her a massage right then and there. She's a little flustered, but he just tells her to stay still and gets to work. Internally, she is having a full-on meltdown, never imagining he'd do something so gentle. And of course, an assistant walks in at that exact moment, catching them in a very compromising position. Back to business, CEO Su pretends that foot massage never happened. Just then, her assistant bursts in with a crisis. The French translator is a no-show. A machine translator is out of the question for this high-stakes technical proposal. With the CEO totally stuck, Wang Han casually volunteers to step in. He claims he picked up a little French while living on the streets, a likely story. She is still skeptical, reminding him this is a meeting they absolutely cannot screw up. Wang Han just gives her a smirk, saying it is probably doable. Having literally no other choice, she tells him to come along to the conference room. Inside, they greet the French expert, Mr. Chatham, trying to look professional, and our boy immediately drops a perfect bienvenue like it is nothing. This assistant is still translating the basic pleasantries, completely redundant now. CEO Su is just staring, realizing this man is an absolute master of hiding his skills. This meeting gets another twist. Two more experts are joining by video call, but surprise, one of them is Japanese, introducing himself as Yamamoto Akiro. This whole team panics since nobody prepared for a second language barrier. This new guy is apparently a huge deal, the head of their East Asia division. When asked if he also speaks Japanese, Wang Han gives his classic, "I wandered a bit" excuse. He immediately starts translating the project details, flawlessly switching languages. She is just blushing, completely reevaluating the food delivery guy she once knew. Hours later, the meeting's a massive success, all thanks to their driver. After the successful meeting, CEO Su sincerely thanks him for his help. Wang Han just brushes it off, telling her not to be so formal. He then leans in, playfully asking what kind of benefits he gets for his service. She gets all flustered, telling him to be serious. They are in a company after all. His actual request is way simpler. He just needs the next morning off for a wedding. With his leave approved, she dismisses him to get back to work. He tries asking her out to dinner but gets hit with the classic "I am busy" shutdown. Once he is gone, she calls him a blockhead for not seizing the opportunity she was giving him. This next day, he meets his security buddy, De Chun, who is nervously showing off his new suit. Wang Han hypes him up, calling him a local movie star to boost his confidence. To complete the look, he hands over a luxury watch, which his friend immediately questions. De Chun assumes it is a high-quality fake, but Wang Han tells him to act the part of a big shot. A final pat on the back has his friend looking at him with pure awe. And then the Rolls-Royce pulls up, making his buddy call him Godfather, total shock. De Chun immediately starts calculating the rental cost, promising to pay him back next month. Wang Han calls him pathetic and just opens the door for him to get in. On the way, his friend is still a nervous wreck, but Wang Han assures him his crush will be impressed. They finally arrive at the Grand Hotel, ready to make their big entrance. But the wedding photo outside shows the bride marrying a man old enough to be her grandfather. Wang Han then learns she married a founder of the Su family company, and he starts putting the pieces together. Just as they arrive, the woman from before calls out to De Chun, asking what took so long. She gives his suit a once-over, telling him he looks presentable and to not blow her cover. Then she is dragging him by the arm, saying their old classmates are already upstairs. This whole crew makes their way into the ridiculously lavish hotel lobby. Inside, some guy is talking to an older man, surprised his old teacher even remembers him. This teacher boasts he only remembers two students, the goofy De Chun and the troublemaker Wang Han, and right on cue, the teacher looks up from his table. But he gets sidetracked by the woman, immediately fawning over how pretty she has become. He then politely offers a seat to Wang Han, calling him Mr. Han, much to De Chun's confusion. When another classmate asks who this boss is, she introduces De Chun and the teacher is floored. After recovering, the teacher immediately asks De Chun what he does for a living now. Wang Han smoothly steps in, claiming his buddy is the CEO of a media company. He then reintroduces himself as the CEO's driver, calling the teacher out for forgetting him. This smug classmate finally recognizes him, immediately mocking him for working for De Chun. He then lays on the fake sympathy, saying everyone expected so much more from him. De Chun is just cringing in his seat, trying to get everyone to stop. He tries to change the subject, saying they are all old friends and should not compare jobs. This other guy just keeps bragging, mentioning another classmate who married a millionaire. Their old teacher is just beaming, so proud of all the business owners and officials from his class. And then he throws a final jab adding and even drivers, but Wang Han just gives him a smirk. A woman makes her grand entrance blaming the traffic, of course. This teacher fawns over her, but she just wants to mock big idiot De-chun. He proudly repeats the lie that De-chun is a CEO now, stunning her completely. She absolutely explodes with laughter knowing he is just a security guard. Smug Guy pipes up, confirming Wang Han is the source of this ridiculous story. She confronts De-chun directly about the lie, but he just begs for some dignity. Mocking him relentlessly, she asks why a fool cares so much about saving face. That is when Wang Han finally steps in, asking if she has had enough fun. He gives her an ice-cold stare, offering to help her laugh some more. She scoffs but immediately resorts to whispering threats about her husband. To defuse the bomb, the other classmate quickly proposes a toast. Everyone raises their glasses, faking a happy reunion for about 5 seconds, but the smug guy chugs his wine a little too enthusiastically and immediately starts choking on it. Karma is swift today. A perfect wine spray follows right onto the mocking woman's dress. She completely loses it, screaming about her ruined 38,000 yuan outfit. Her classmate's jaw just hits the floor when he hears the price. His offer to do her laundry is met with demands for a full refund. Another guy helpfully points out that is almost a year's salary for a security guard, so Wang Han steps up, coolly offering to pay on behalf of CEO Han. This smug classmate taunts Wang Han about his driver's salary, flexing for CEO Han. At that exact moment, the woman gets a 38,000 yuan bank transfer for her dress. Still furious, she threatens to have her husband get De-chun fired from his CEO job. Right on cue, her husband finally arrives and she waves him over. He nervously explains a little parking problem delayed him. Turns out he scratched a car and Wang Han immediately asks for the license plate. He then confirms, yup, that is President Han's car he just hit. His wife dismisses it, but her husband reveals the repair bill is a cool 700,000 yuan. She absolutely loses her mind, unable to process that number. Wang Han calmly drops the car's name, a Rolls-Royce Phantom. This whole table is in shock, realizing it was the one they saw at the entrance. Our boy just dangles the keys, a perfect nonverbal, you were saying. They immediately accuse him of renting it, but he insists they have to pay for the damage. Still convinced it is a lie, she asks her government-connected friend to look up the owner. This guy smugly pulls out his phone, ready to expose their little charade. De-chun tries to de-escalate by admitting it is a rental, only to get mocked for being vain. But the search fails. The car is registered to a company with only a phone number listed, so she decides to call the real owner herself, ready to gloat. As she dials, a phone right there at their table starts ringing, and Wang Han just taps it, putting the call on hands-free for everyone to hear. This woman answers her phone, and everyone listens in as Wang Han puts it on speaker. Her government buddy confirms it. The car is absolutely 100% registered to Wang Han. Her brain just short-circuits, completely unable to process this reality. Wang Han then calmly informs them the repair shop will be in touch about the 700,000 yuan bill. He then lays it on thick, claiming CEO Han was just testing their character, which they failed spectacularly. This entire table is just frozen, their smug little worlds completely shattered. At that moment, the bride and her ancient groom finally make their way over to the table. Everyone awkwardly raises a glass to congratulate the happy couple. This groom does not recognize our boys, so another classmate has to point them out. After a moment, the bride finally remembers them and immediately asks what they do for work. This purple-haired woman jumps at the chance to announce that Wang Han is just a driver. But the party gets crashed by some tattooed thug who gets way too friendly with the groom. This classmates recognize him as a big shot from the Black Dragon Society, a legit gangster. This guy immediately starts putting his hands all over the bride, who looks terrified. He shoves the old groom aside, claiming he is not even drunk yet. While the husband pathetically begs him to stop, the gangster just keeps harassing his wife. That is when De-chun finally snaps, standing up and telling the thug to back off. This gangster gets right in his face, but the bride desperately tries to get De-chun to sit down. As De-chun tries to take the blame, Wang Han calmly tells the gangster to behave himself, and the thug completely freezes, looking at Wang Han with pure, unadulterated terror. This gangster greets Wang Han as Brother Han, instantly flipping the power dynamic, which leaves the teacher and his former classmates utterly baffled by the respect he has shown. His whole crew follows suit, bowing to De-chun while the gangster tells them to behave. He then gives Wang Han a casual nod, saying he will find his own seat, no big deal. Turning to the bride, he is suddenly all apologies for his earlier drunken antics. This groom is now practically kissing the ground, offering President Han a VIP seat up front. And the teacher immediately starts gushing, claiming he always knew De-chun was special. Wang Han just sips his wine, calmly calling out the teacher's very convenient memory loss. With a nervous laugh, the old man swears he is not the type to hold a grudge, a total lie. This smug classmate tries to salvage the mood, proposing a toast to move past the drama. But now the entire table is raising their glasses to President Han, completely ignoring the wedding couple. Our boy just soaks it in, enjoying the teacher's sudden, desperate change of heart. This teacher keeps up the act, insisting he is a totally forgiving and not at all petty man. With the mood fixed, the classmate raises his glass high, trying to be the life of the party, and the toast officially becomes all about CEO Han, the real man of the hour. After that spectacular display of bootlicking, the bride and groom finally make their exit. Later that night, Wang Han helps a very drunk De Chun toward the waiting Rolls-Royce. De Chun, fully committed to the bit, drunkenly waves goodbye, announcing the CEO has a meeting. This mocking woman makes one last pathetic plea, asking if he really has to be so harsh about the money. Wang Han shuts her down completely, pay up and not a single penny less. A very drunk De Chun wails about his lost love, while Wang Han just tries to get him in the car. Once inside, De Chun smushes his face against the window and lets out a massive burp, real CEO behavior. Wang Han straightens his suit, deadpanning that General Manager Han must get to his destination. But then a call comes in, completely changing the plan. A powerful figure is trading artifacts at a nightclub. He just says, got it, ready for whatever business is about to go down. This destination is the Shanghai nightclub, looking every bit as fancy as you'd expect. Stepping out of his car, Wang Han is ready to see what this Brotherhood alliance is all about. Inside, some guy tells the bunny girls to avoid him, judging him as a nobody. Big mistake, buddy. He gets a quick intel drop on his phone about the target, a gang master known as Little Master. This club itself is a sensory overload of lights and dancing bodies. Wang Han surveys the scene, looking thoroughly unimpressed with the local nightlife. He strolls up to the bar and casually orders a martini because of course he does. While the bartender works, our boy just takes in the youthful energy, or the chaos. His drink arrives and he gives a simple thanks. Just as he is about to take a sip, some woman with cat ears stumbles right into him. He turns and they both freeze. It is a face he definitely recognizes. Yup, it is the woman from the office, equally shocked to see him in a place like this. She immediately goes on the attack, calling him a pervert and punching his arm. After she questions why he is here, he fires back the same question and she insults his clothes. He just takes a cool sip of his drink, asking if she thinks he is a respectable person, which only makes her angrier. A text comes through confirming the transaction is starting and Wang Han is all business. He brushes off the office girl, basically telling her to scram before things get ugly. Down a very fancy hallway he goes, right toward two guards protecting a VIP room. Taking a drag from his cigarette, he eyes the door. Yup, this is the place. This guard demands he scan a QR code because even gangsters are embracing the digital age. But a split second later, both guards are sent flying back in utter shock. Turns out Wang Han just flicked his cigarette butt at them with the force of a cannonball. Before they can even process that, he is on them, winding up a punch. This first guard takes a brutal shot right to the gut, doubling over instantly. His partner immediately gets a fist to the jaw, knocking him clean off his feet. Standing over the unconscious bodies, Wang Han sighs that violence was in fact the answer. He then strolls into a room full of suits, clearly interrupting some kind of shady deal. A guy in sunglasses immediately pulls a gun, asking what the hell he is doing here. Unfazed, Wang Han calmly announces that whatever they were doing is officially cancelled. Another suit holds the gunman back, probably trying to avoid a messy shootout. That is when the boss man speaks up, demanding to know who he is before ordering his men to attack. Two more goons in sunglasses charge forward, looking like discount agents from the Matrix. Wang Han just casually reaches over and grabs a heavy glass ashtray from the doorframe. And without missing a beat, he smashes it right over the first guy's head. This boss and his lieutenant can only stare, completely stunned by the sudden chaos. This boss man recognizes the faction but not the face. Our boy just drops his name, cool as you like Wang Han, and that name hits like a truck. The guy immediately apologizes to the ninth young master, but one goon did not get the memo, pulling a gun and claiming this is his turf. So his boss just hurls a priceless-looking vase right at his head. It connects beautifully, sending the gun flying and the goon to the floor. Wang Han calmly warns that careless words have a price, while standing over the body. Then he just plops down on the couch, ready to talk business about a Buddha head. This boss offers him any item he wants, but Wang Han's only here for one thing. Getting a little bold, the guy asks if Wang Han seriously came alone. And then his men pull their guns, declaring that strongmen do not follow rules. With a pistol to his head, Wang Han literally dares him to take the shot. So the dude actually pulls the trigger, and the bullet just smacks the wall behind him. Our boy did not even flinch. This boss tries to save face, warning that taking the artifact is a big mistake. Wang Han just stands up, bag ready, and repeats his demand for the Buddha head. Completely defeated, the boss orders his men to pack it up for him. When his own guy hesitates, the boss shoots him in the hand to speed things along. Terrified, the underlings scramble to put the artifact in the bag. They hand it over with one last warning that leaving this room is a point of no return. Wang Han stands with the bag, coolly accepting his new reality. With a casual wave, he bids farewell to the ninth prince. This remaining goons are just completely lost, wondering who that powerhouse was. Back in the room, the bruised boss demands to know where his men are. His lieutenant just coldly informs him they are gone. Poof. When the boss demands revenge, his guy warns him about the 10 elders. That name alone is enough to make the gang leader break out in a cold sweat. This lieutenant then reveals he knew Wang Han was coming all along. His smug look says it all. The big leagues do not explain their moves. Meanwhile, Wang Han runs into another problem at the elevator, the office girl being carried off. She is completely out of it while these creeps promise to cool her off. Recognizing her, he scoffs at her trying to pull off a mission with zero skills. Deciding he is just unlucky, our boy heads off to play hero one more time. This elevator opens into a hallway that is just a festival of bad taste. Following the sound of some very questionable music, he approaches a door. Inside, he finds the office girl cuffed to a pole, surrounded by shirtless goons. Wang Han's face is a perfect mix of seriously and oh, for crying out loud, she is clearly in a bad spot, cuffed and looking completely overwhelmed. One of the shirtless wonders spots him and immediately tells him to get lost. So the guy winds up and throws a punch, ready to take him out. That punch is caught without even a flinch from Wang Han. As a second goon charges, he just grabs the first guy's head and then uses that dude's face to block the other guy's fist. Talk about recycling. A bald guy with his pants around his ankles tries the "Do you know who I am" card. Wang Han's response is a swift kick to the face because no, he does not care. With the goons down, he uncuffs the office girl who is mumbling about being hot. She's clearly drugged, trying to pull her own shirt off in a daze. Our boy just sighs, grabbing a water bottle while thinking about his actual mission. He patiently helps her drink, looking completely over this entire heroic detour. While supporting her, he mutters about how much trouble this is. His brilliant solution involves a shower head and a very blunt question. Leading her toward the bathroom, he is just so done with this whole situation. He holds up the shower head again, making his point crystal clear. And a blast of cold water seems to be exactly the cure she needed. 15 minutes later, Wang Han's enjoying a smoke next to a pile of defeated goons. Now sober and wrapped in a towel, she finally thanks him. After he brushes it off, she immediately starts kicking the unconscious thugs. She then asks if he saw everything, and he has the audacity to call himself the victim. Her brain short-circuits at that logic, absolutely fuming with embarrassment. He just tells her to get dressed and call her friends while she demands his silence. Just as he is about to leave, the office girl stops him, suddenly very suspicious of his new bag. He tries to play it off as a simple errand, but she demands to see what is inside. With one yank, she reveals the Buddha head and her towel conveniently starts to slip. She immediately accuses him of stealing the artifact while he claims he is just returning it. Making a run for it, he casually calls her Officer Yang and says he will see her tomorrow. Left standing in the doorway, she furiously vows to hunt him to the ends of the earth. Downstairs, Wang Han runs right into the gang boss he just finished beating up. This guy, head now bandaged, is all apologies, calling him Ninth Prince and offering him the world. Wang Han just shrugs it off as a misunderstanding between friends and asks for a car. This boss immediately orders his underling to prepare a carriage for the ninth young master. Talk about a promotion. While waiting, he takes a call confirming he has the item and decides he is just gonna keep it. This reality of that choice hits him hard. Now Officer Yang is definitely never letting him go. Later, in a swanky apartment, he asks a woman in lingerie if she could maybe, wear clothes. She just smirks back, saying clothes are totally unnecessary when he is around. Tossing her a jacket, he tells her to hurry up before someone named Gyu gets home. She then asks where his wife Su Chi is and he is like, "She is your wife, why are you asking me?" Completely ignoring her, he texts his actual wife to order some takeout because priorities. A brief shot of the sky lets us all take a breath after that relationship whiplash. Now outside, the same woman is following him, arguing that if she gets him at night, she gets him during the day too. He calls her logic nonsense, right as a threatening text appears on screen demanding she pay up. Wang Han's walk is interrupted by some low-rent loan shark shaking down a woman. This lead creep grabs her, making some very gross suggestions for debt repayment. But she spots our boy, and suddenly the thug's got a problem he does not recognize yet. Stepping up to defend his neighbor, Wang Han gets a face full of insults for his trouble. He tells them to watch their mouths, not a fan of local disturbances. This guy pulls out a contract, claiming it is just business, standard predatory loan stuff. Apparently, she is only paid the principal, and the interest is where they get you. Moving between them, Wang Han is clearly about to handle this himself. When he asks for the total, the thug smugly names a ridiculous price. This woman tries to shield him, telling them to leave him out of it. So the creep offers a new deal. She can pay by spending the night with them. And that is when the lingerie lady delivers a high kick straight to his jaw. This thug goes down hard as she calls him too disgusting to even look at. Then she drops the bomb, proudly announcing she is Wang Han's wife. Our boy is just speechless, trying to explain she is just a friend to the actual neighbor. Nursing his jaw, the boss orders his goons to just grab both women. His two remaining idiots charge forward, ready for round two. She just flips through the air, bringing an axe kick down on one guy's head. A quick chop to the neck takes out the last one as she calls them children. And just like that, the entire crew is left crying on the pavement. This lingerie lady stands over the lone shark, telling him the fun's not over yet. Wang Han tries to leave for work, but his neighbor is worried about leaving the fighter alone. As the thugs beg for their lives, he just casually reassures her they will be fine probably. Yep, she is definitely still enjoying her fun with the last conscious goon. This neighbor is still concerned, while Wang Han just wants to get to the office. And the lone sharks are still learning a very painful lesson from Grandma. We cut to a massive, imposing corporate headquarters. Inside, Wang Han brings lunch to his wife Su Chi, who is wondering about the delay. He blames a minor accident on the way as she compliments his improved cooking. Then her phone rings. It is her dad, frantically begging her to save him. Turns out he gambled away $3 million and is being held for ransom, a story she has heard before. So she just hangs up on him, completely over his usual drama. She explains to Wang Han that it is just his typical scam to swindle money. Right on cue, a text message arrives to prove her very, very wrong. It is a photo of her dad, beaten and tied up. Looks like this time it is real. Back on the phone, the kidnapper demands $3 million in cash at a club. Wang Han immediately offers to go with her, but she says he cannot handle this. He insists on at least driving, but she claims he will only make things more complicated. A sleek red sports car pulls up to a very sketchy-looking nightclub. Su Chi arrives with a suitcase of cash, announcing her presence to the kidnappers. Wang Han pulls up to the club on a bike, recognizing the name Drunken World. Inside, Su Chi has arrived with the cash, finding her dad kneeling before the boss. Her father begs this third master for mercy, who is just chilling with a slice of watermelon. As the boss waves her over, her dad plays the victim card for all it is worth. This creep then gets up, making some gross comments about Su Chi's looks. He claims the money is not enough since her dad also hospitalized his brother. And with a slimy grin, he makes it clear he wants a different kind of payment. Her own father then tells her to just make the sacrifice for him. What a guy. Absolutely disgusted, Su Chi delivers a well-deserved slap across his face. Enraged, the boss orders his goons to force-feed her a bottle of wine. His two thugs immediately grab her, holding her still for their boss. He tries to pour it down her throat, telling her to lose the attitude, but she fights back with a swift kick right where it counts. This guy's face is a perfect portrait of instant, agonizing regret. After smashing the bottle, he screams about nearly losing his future heirs. And the dad immediately offers up his daughter to save his own skin. Peak parenting. Now armed with a broken bottle, the boss threatens to carve up her face. Just then, Wang Han kicks his way into the party, literally. This father instantly sells him out, calling him a nobody delivery boy, so the boss, insulted to his core, just orders his men to kill him. This goons charge, screaming about killing the reckless delivery driver. Wang Han's response is a boot to the first guy's jaw. And a clean right hook sends the second one spinning. With the hired help down in seconds, he holds Su Chi steady. She is dizzy from the wine they tried to force on her, leaning on him for support. This enrages the boss, who starts screaming about Wang Han touching his woman. He raises the broken bottle again, ready to end this himself. But Wang Han just effortlessly catches his wrist, stopping the attack cold. Our boy calmly informs him he could crush him like an ant. This boss struggles, but he is completely overpowered, and that is when the sweat starts pouring. He messed with the wrong guy. A quick twist and a kick to the knee brings the big shot down. He lands in a spectacularly undignified heap on the floor, just as a new guy in a suit arrives, telling Wang Han to stop. This boss is still sprawled out, completely humiliated, but this new arrival looks way more important than the last guy. From the ground, the boss points, demanding his brother kill Wang Han for him. Instead, the suit delivers a massive slap, calling him a blind fool. He then bows to Wang Han, calling him ninth prince and begging for mercy. This boss is then forced to his knees to apologize, a total reversal of power. Su Chi's still dizzy from the wine, so Wang Han decides it is time to go home. As they leave, her deadbeat dad tries to latch on, calling him an amazing son-in-law, zero shame. Wang Han just gives him the coldest shutdown, telling him to stay away. This rejection absolutely shatters the father-in-law's grifter fantasy. Finally back at their apartment, the chaos seems to be over for the night. He gently puts Su Chi to bed, offering to make some hangover soup. But she begs him not to go anywhere, saying she is too scared to be alone. She even grabs his wrist to make sure he does not leave her side. So he sits with her and the atmosphere gets all sparkly and intense. Pulling him closer, she asks him to stay, and our boy is visibly flustered. He is worried about taking advantage, but she just whispers for him to stay. This next morning, we are with the lingerie lady, who asks why he looks so wrecked. She is absolutely fuming, implying he knows exactly what he did to tire himself out. Before storming off to a meeting, she reminds him to pick up Gyugyo from school. With a final glare, she is out the door, leaving him to ponder his life choices. And that is when a memory from the night with Su Chi hits him like a lightning bolt. In a flashback, Su Chi asks if he undressed her, but he claims she did it herself. She then asks about the kidnappers as he hands her a bag, playing it all off. But as she takes the bag, a small, dark object slips out unnoticed. It is his long-lost bead, and Wang Han is absolutely freaking out. He has finally found it. This lingerie lady asks if a bead is hers. Wang Han confirms it is his, with his name on it. She wonders if Wang Han saved her at the hotel. They arrive at a massive corporate building, greeted by guards. Wang Han exchanges pleasantries with the guards. Su Chi asks Wang Han about lunch plans. Another woman, Zufu, arrives and greets Su Chi. Zufu invites Su Chi to a celebration, suggesting they go together. Zufu asks Su Chi why she looks so happy. Su Chi asks Zufu if she remembers the hotel incident. Zufu calls Wang Han a decent person despite his flaws. Zufu mentions finding someone to recover deleted texts, offering help. Wang Han lights a cigarette, deep in thought. Wang Han is greeted by guards, acknowledging them casually. Wang Han receives a call from his fourth sister, who wants to meet. His fourth sister explains she is there for a conference and wants to meet his fiancée. Wang Han expresses his desire to meet the woman who captivated his little Jiu. This call disconnects, leaving Wang Han frustrated. Wang Han enters Su Chi's office. Su Chi questions Wang Han's early return, calling his kindness suspicious. The lead pushes forward as the conflict keeps escalating. Tension builds as the stakes grow higher. The moment shifts and the balance tips. Something changes in the air between them. The scene holds, then moves on. Conflict simmers beneath the surface. He holds his ground as the situation unfolds. She takes a step and the dynamic shifts. The next beat of the story lands. The pressure rises as the dangerous clash keeps escalating. The lead pushes forward as the conflict keeps escalating. Tension builds as the stakes grow higher. The moment shifts and the balance tips. Something changes in the air between them. The scene holds, then moves on. Conflict simmers beneath the surface. He holds his ground as the situation unfolds. She takes a step and the dynamic shifts. The next beat of the story lands. The pressure rises as the dangerous clash keeps escalating. A woman named Lily worries about a creepy director's intentions. Her cousin pressures her anyway, saying it is for her sick mom. What a guy. Then director Yan appears, all smiles and promises of a cure. This cousin immediately pushes for a lunch meeting to seal the deal. This director boasts the expert is his teacher, so Lily reluctantly agrees. Just then, Wang Han shows up, but Lily sends him back to the office. Walking away, our boy gets a bad feeling about this whole setup. His suspicions are confirmed when he overhears them whispering in the hall. This cousin reveals their whole scummy plan: set Lily up, then ditch her later. Director Yan loves the idea, and the cousin cashes in his favor for a job. Absolutely disgusted by the two scumbags, Wang Han feels terrible for Lily. So he calls his fourth sister, asking her to get the actual expert doctor on the line. With real help secured, he ends the call, mission accomplished. Wang Han then steps into the hospital room to check on the patient himself. Standing by the bed, he finalizes the arrangements on his phone. But Lily and her cousin walk back in, shocked he is still there. He tells her to cancel lunch because he has already handled everything. Her cousin immediately accuses Wang Han of meddling, calling him a nobody driver. These two schemers try to rush Lily out the door, ignoring him completely. Director Yan points a finger, demanding to know what gives a driver the right to be so arrogant. The lead pushes forward as the conflict keeps escalating. Tension builds as the stakes grow higher. The moment shifts and the balance tips. Something changes in the air between them. The scene holds, then moves on. Conflict simmers beneath the surface. He holds his ground as the situation unfolds. She takes a step and the dynamic shifts. The next beat of the story lands. The pressure rises as the dangerous clash keeps escalating. The lead pushes forward as the conflict keeps escalating. Tension builds as the stakes grow higher. The moment shifts and the balance tips. Something changes in the air between them. The scene holds, then moves on. Conflict simmers beneath the surface. He holds his ground as the situation unfolds. She takes a step and the dynamic shifts. The next beat of the story lands. The pressure rises as the dangerous clash keeps escalating. A sleek red car rolls up to a fancy gala, ready to make an entrance. Out steps a woman in a stunning dress, looking way too serious for a party. Some guy on the steps immediately gets snarky about their grand entrance. She warns her companion to behave since this party is crawling with important people. Inside, a friend immediately asks why they are late and pushes them to network. Their target is a Mr. Liu, a 70-something-year-old who just had a kid with a much younger wife. This woman lay on the charm, congratulating the old guy on his new son. But then some other dude with a villainous mustache gets way too close to Su Chi. This old chairman then asks if her plus one is her dad or grandpa brutal. This jerk then loudly mocks her for bringing her husband, the food delivery guy. He keeps running his mouth, pointing out her husband who is just trying to eat. And there is our boy Wang Han, completely unbothered and just enjoying the free food. These two bullies then pressure Su Chi to bring her husband over for an introduction. So she walks Wang Han over, introducing him as her husband to the chairman. Wang Han offers a polite hello, and the chairman gives him the most underwhelming "oh" in history. But then another CEO rushes over, shaking Wang Han's hand like he is a long-lost friend. This first jerk is totally baffled, asking why he is shaking hands with a delivery driver. When they ask what he does, Wang Han just calmly says he drives for CEO Su. This bully's smug face returns, thinking he has confirmed Wang Han is a nobody. Just then, the host takes the stage, welcoming everyone to her brother's 100-day celebration. This host announces she is going to play a song for the party. A young woman in a blue dress sits down at the piano to perform. While the bully praises her, the old chairman just scoffs that she is showing off. Wang Han looks on, clearly unimpressed with her technique. Called out by the bully, he says the playing lacked emotion, which the guy finds hilarious. Her performance is cut short by her teacher, who steps onto the stage. Furious, the pianist demands to know what right he has to critique her. This bully eggs him on, daring the delivery guy to play, but Su Chi tells him to stop. Ignoring everyone, Wang Han confidently walks toward the piano. He sits down, dedicating his performance of Dream Wedding to Su Chi. Both Su Chi and her friend are in shock, wondering if he can actually play. From the first note, it is obvious he is on another level entirely. Everyone in the room is completely captivated by his music. This original pianist looks on, totally mesmerized by his skill. After a flawless performance, he stands to a round of applause. Trying to save face, the bully asks the professional teacher for her expert opinion. This teacher, however, humbly admits she is not qualified to judge him. This leaves the bully completely stunned and speechless. Even the old chairman concedes that Su Chi's husband is full of surprises. Driving home, Su Chi grills him about his connection to that other CEO. Wang Han explains he educated that CEO's son, which sounds ominous. While her friend swoons over his piano skills, Su Chi just calls him a show-off. But then he spots a tail in the rearview mirror and the mood instantly sours. He floors it, prompting his passengers to ask if he is in a hurry to die. They are screaming about him losing his license as he weaves through traffic. With a smirk, he drops the bomb that you cannot lose a license you never had. His passengers are just completely stunned into silence by that revelation. Suddenly, two motorcycles appear, boxing them in on the street. One of the bikers starts shooting and his friend absolutely loses it. Su-chi sees the gunman aiming and yells for her to get down. Behind the wheel, Wang Han is locked in, his playful attitude gone. He swerves hard, slamming the sports car directly into one of the bikes. Yelling for them to hold on, he fights to control the vehicle. This street becomes a war zone of sparks and screeching tires. He keeps them ducking for cover as he drives for their lives. From the other car, a guy with an eye patch pulls out a freaking assault rifle. Bullets immediately spiderweb the windshield as he shields them. This pursuing car closes the distance, ready for a final attack. Their ride gets absolutely riddled with another round of gunfire. As the car fishtails, he realizes a tire's been blown out. They are screwed. With the tire shot out, Wang Han expertly skids the car to a halt. Her friend panics, yelling that the assassins are after her and what she is holding. Out on the street, Su-chi is horrified, realizing they were shooting to kill. This goons corner them, so the friend suggests a nice calm chat in the park. Great idea. And by chat, she means with these two heavily armed professionals. Wang Han immediately barks at them to get down. Just as bullets start flying, he shields Su-chi with his own body. Then our boy flicks a pebble like it is a freaking missile, which finds its new home directly in a gunman's eye socket. As he pulls them away, he casually mentions his dragon wrapping hand technique, as one does. But Su-chi's friend looks back in terror as more assassins close in fast. He shoves them behind a tree for some temporary, very thin cover. A bullet grazes his face, and now he is pissed they dared to touch his wife. So he steps out, ready to take on the remaining gunman himself. Leaping through the air, he dodges bullets while throwing more rocks. Another perfect shot takes a goon right to the dome. Standing over the bodies, he identifies them as the 7 fallen angels. While Su-chi checks on him, her friend asks who the hell these angels are. He points out the 7-star tattoo, a mark of the Abyss assassin group. Turns out her friend is holding a device that extends human life. Oh, so that is *Y. Su-chi is finally impressed, and he smugly hints there is more where that came from. Her friend calls Grandpa for a ride, after that minor assassination attempt. With backup on the way, Wang Han advises her to get more security and fix the bullet-riddled car. This friend is still terrified and clings to Su-chi for comfort, cannot blame her. Later on, he sees a woman in a business suit trip and spill her stuff everywhere. And she goes down hard, her box of personal items spilling out onto the pavement. Rushing to help, he asks why she is moving things alone and starts picking up her things, only to come up holding her underwear, his face an absolute picture of panic. She just asks about the cut on his face while his eye gives off a weird, intense glow. He plays off the injury, asking about her mom's surgery, which he apparently helped arrange. As he tries to leave, she reminds him about a dinner invitation he seems to have forgotten. Our boy smoothly deflects, saying they will just have to do it another time. He walks off completely spooked and thinking to himself that women are terrifying. Arriving at a safe house, he finds a red-haired woman lounging on the couch. He awkwardly asks her to cover up, but she is completely unbothered by his request. Cutting to the chase, he asks if her business is tied to that life-extending tech. She is surprised he knows, so he explains the 7 fallen angels are already making moves. While he lights a cigarette, she warns him that Abyss is a serious problem that needs a solution. Then she asks for his ideas with a look that says she already has one. Getting way too close, she reminds him the Abyss chief owes him a life debt, but he just tells her to back off. She suggests he could solve this whole mess with just a few words. Then she climbs onto his lap, proposing some fun while his wife's away. He is not interested. Pushing her back, Wang Han agrees to contact Abyss but tells her to watch her back. Still trying her luck, she offers him any reward he wants for being so great. But the moment is completely ruined when a little girl walks in calling him dad. Flustered, the red-haired woman pretends she is just looking for a lost earring. This little girl, Gyugyo, just hands him some amusement park tickets from her teacher. Looking at the tickets, he suddenly remembers a promise he made to take the kids out. He agrees to a weekend trip, and Gyugyo is absolutely thrilled. Wang Han scolds his associate for her behavior, but she is already planning on becoming the new mom. He then asks if she really has to leave so urgently, which she immediately takes as a sign he wants her to stay, so of course she will. Our boy clarifies he was just being polite, sending her into a rage about Su-chi stealing her man. Meanwhile, at the Lin family villa, 2 guards are on late-night watch. Suddenly, a dagger flies past one of their heads, and a new assassin with a killer braid takes them both out in an instant. Inside, Su-chi's friend and another woman are startled awake by the commotion. This assassin looms in the doorway, asking for any last words. With a smug look, she says pity, revealing that familiar 7-star tattoo. This blonde woman shields her friend, yelling that she is the target and to leave the other one alone. This new assassin holds a blade to her throat, telling her to hush, but a phone call interrupts the hit with new orders to cancel the mission. She is absolutely floored since the order came directly from the Emperor. Reluctantly, she backs off, telling the girls it is their lucky day. Then she makes a dramatic exit right off the balcony because doors are for amateurs. Seconds later, the cavalry arrives, a little too late to the party. Her grandpa rushes in, gun drawn, checking to see if she is all right. This blonde woman confirms the assassin has already left. Kneeling by his fallen men, he is impressed by the clean, one-hit kills. His niece explains she saw an Abyss tattoo, an 8-star one at that. This old man is completely shocked they'd send such a high-ranking killer. They tell him the mission was called off by someone called the Heroic Emperor. He has never heard of this person but vows to find out who is pulling the strings. Still shaken, the blonde woman just thanks him for his help. Elsewhere, the woman from the other day is trying to hail a cab, and who should pull up but Wang Han on a motorcycle offering a lift. She hops on and he tells her to hold on tight, suave as ever. With a roar, they speed off into the city. On the ride, she asks about Gyugyu's mom, so he explains the girl's an orphan. Hearing he is her guardian now, the woman looks on with sympathy. At the office, word is that Suchi called in sick for the day. Wang Han is immediately concerned, especially since she is not answering his texts. Deciding to check on her himself, he hops on his motorcycle. He speeds off, planning to check on Gyugyu before heading home. Arriving at the house, he calls out, asking if his honey is all right. But something feels off when he sees the bedroom door is ajar. Peeking inside, his expression just completely freezes, because there is a woman in a very festive asterisk outfit on his bed and it is not his wife. She immediately gets flirty, suggesting they try something exciting. Our boy is just confused, thinking this whole vibe is seriously weird. Getting behind him, she tells him to turn around for a brand new experience. Her hands slide down his back as she prepares her little surprise, which turns out to be a freaking knife she had hidden. With a crazy smile, she lunges forward, aiming to stab him. But Wang Han dodges effortlessly, catching her wrist mid-swing. In a flash, he has got her arm twisted and her leg completely pinned. She demands to know who he is, and he just deadpans. "I am your wife." His grip is like iron, leaving her totally immobilized. He then throws a punch, saying his real wife does not have this many tricks. This fist stops just an inch from her face, a clear warning that playtime is over. After her attack fails, the assassin vaults over the couch to make a run for it. But then she pulls a gun, telling him to go ask the King of Hell for answers. Our boy does not even flinch as a bullet smacks into the wall right behind him. Now on the bed, she demands the Buddha head in exchange for a quick death. While dodging again, he calmly explains that he does not have it. She is not buying it for a second, screaming her intel said otherwise and firing again. Instead of a pebble this time, Wang Han pulls out a simple playing card, which he flicks with impossible speed, knocking the guns right out of her hands. Pinning her to the bed, he just repeats his deadpan line. "I am your wife." She is completely baffled as his hand slides down the front of her dress, only for him to pull out a hidden pendant, asking if she is from Kaofeng Valley. Using his moment of distraction, she kicks him away and scrambles to escape. Pausing at the window, she acknowledges he must be a martial artist too. Holding the pendant, Wang Han has a shocking thought. Is this Suchi look-alike his childhood fiancé? She gives him one last warning that if he has the Buddha's head, he is a dead man. Then she just leaps out the window, still demanding answers about the bead. Watching her dramatic exit, our boy is just left wondering what is even happening anymore. He immediately calls for intel, learning Suchi is an only child, but also adopted. Worse, the only keepsake from her birth parents was sold off by her adoptive father. This pieces click into place. He realizes the masters of Kaofeng Valley might have had twins. Wang Han gently asks Suchi about her childhood, trying to piece things together. Just then, her deadbeat adoptive dad bursts in, demanding a casual 300,000 yuan. He lays on the guilt trip, but she has heard this song and dance way too many times before. Trying again, Wang Han presses for details about her past, sensing something is off. But her father's perfectly timed entrance completely derails the conversation with his money problems. Suchi shuts him down cold, telling him to get lost because the bank of daughter is closed. Completely ignoring her dad's whining, she just asks Wang Han to a meeting. Left alone, the father fumes that his own daughter will not even spot him 100 grand. So he decides to rifle through Wang Han's jacket, assuming the driver must be loaded. Instead of cash, he finds that bead from the assassin and the gears start turning. He realizes this is Suchi's only link to her birth parents and his new blackmail ticket. Marching back in, he tells a skeptical Suchi he has been hiding a huge secret from her. Then he just drops the bombshell that she is adopted. He even brings up an old blood transfusion where their blood types did not match. She is not buying any of it, telling him to just stop with the stories. So he pulls out the bead, claiming it is the key to finding her real family. And here comes the price tag, a cool 500,000 for the truth. This guy actually starts haggling over his daughter's identity, dropping the price to 300k. She pays up, and he gets the transfer notification with a smug little grin. Tossing the bead on the desk, he makes his exit, a little richer and a lot scummier. Suchi examines the bead her dad sold her, feeling a strange sense of familiarity. Meanwhile, Wang Han is back at the office looking for something important. He pats down his jacket, a bad feeling creeping in. And yup, the assassin's bead is completely gone from his pocket. He realizes her deadbeat dad must have stolen it, along with his pocket money, the absolute fiend. Suchi walks in asking what is up, and he confirms only her father was there. Brushing it off, she asks him to come with her to the hospital. He is worried she might be sick, but she assures him it is just a quick checkup. So they hop in her very conspicuous red sports car. On the way, she makes him promise to keep the hospital visit a secret. Their trip gets rudely interrupted by another car cutting them off. Wang Han immediately goes full road rage on the other driver. No turn signal, the horror. This sudden jolt seems to trigger a memory for Suchi, because she suddenly grabs the other asterisk bead from his necklace, demanding to know where he got it. He tells her his older sister gave it to him, but she is not buying that for a second. So he explains it is a betrothal token from a childhood arranged marriage. He is supposed to find the girl. Our boy cheekily asks if she is jealous, which she immediately denies, of course. Back at her desk, Suchi learns the paternity test results are due tomorrow. Holding her own bead, she wonders if this is all just fate's grand plan. Just then, her assistant pops in to announce a visitor, and who should walk into Su Chi's office but some new mystery woman. Turns out it is her cousin, and Su Chi is not thrilled to see her. She whips out a card with 100 million offering to buy Wang Han right out of the marriage. Su Chi just laughs at the sheer soap opera cliché of it all. Then she drops her own bombshell: she is married to Wang Han and pregnant. This cousin still pushes the card, insisting she think about the life-changing money. Still smirking, Su Chi wonders aloud if her husband is even worth 100 mil. Savage, having failed spectacularly, the cousin finally takes her leave. Just then, her blonde friend pops in, all smiles and good news. She gets a little handsy, excitedly talking about a research drug that is getting big-time attention. A medical genius named Yi Kinkyu apparently wants to cooperate with them. Her friend insists this is a massive opportunity and they have to go meet her immediately. Su Chi seems to recognize the name, looking completely taken aback. This friend keeps hyping it up, saying this doctor's skills are legendary. As they leave, some guy in a suit sneaks into the empty office, and of course he spots the bank card just sitting on the desk. He finds the password written on it, grinning like he just won the scumbag lottery. Outside, he makes a call, telling his fourth sister he is heading over. On the phone, he reports that he has met Su Chi, calling her a nice girl from a poor family. This scene then just transitions to a quiet evening sky. This card thief guy brings the cousin to meet his sister, talking her up big time, but they both just freeze in the doorway, completely stunned by what they see. Because two women are already in the kitchen, one holding a dish and welcoming them back. And the other is none other than Yi Kinkyu, the medical genius Su Chi was supposed to meet. This whole crew, including little Gyugyo, is now gathered for a very awkward dinner. Su Chi's cousin is having a full-on meltdown, realizing Wang Han might not be a poor driver after all. Yi Kinkyu then formally introduces herself as Wang Han's fourth sister, much to everyone's shock. During the meal, Wang Han encourages Su Chi to try his sister's famous chili fish head. His sister then immediately boots him to the couch for the night to take care of the pregnant Su Chi. He gets a little jab in, teasing his other sister that she will be sleeping alone too. Later, banished to the sofa, he makes a call trying to find information on Su Chi's assassin lookalike. His investigation gets cut short by a late-night text message, and whatever is on that screen has him completely floored. It is from Su Chi's blonde friend Lin Zufu, sending a very forward invitation with a spicy photo attached. Our boy just facepalms, wondering why his life attracts this much drama. This next day, he is having a wholesome outing with Gyugyu at what looks like a park. They meet up with her teacher, who seems awfully chummy with him. While walking, he offers to take Gyugyu for a ride on the carousel, but he suddenly stops dead in his tracks, his attention fixed on something in the distance. Just as a hand clamps down on his shoulder from behind, talk about a cliffhanger. This hand on his shoulder belongs to some beefy dude who seems to know him. This guy Kang Hongj immediately gets called out by Gyugyu's teacher for following her. She tells him to get lost, but he warns her about getting involved with Wang Han, a guy with a kid. As Wang Han walks off with them, the stalker mutters some classic, "If I cannot have you, no one can" nonsense. This trio then has a cute moment ordering burgers, completely unaware of the drama brewing. But their wholesome outing is cut short by shouts that someone's fallen into the water. Without a second thought, Wang Han is already sprinting towards the commotion. This teacher, Wei Ying, also tries to play hero but gets grabbed from behind. It is the jealous beefcake who is more worried about her master than a drowning person. While they are busy arguing, our boy has already taken a dive straight into the pool. He cuts through the water so fast that onlookers wonder if he is an Olympic swimmer. Reaching the first victim, he is told there is another person still trapped underwater. Apparently, their feet are tangled up in some seaweed at the bottom. So Wang Han immediately dives back down to find them, no hesitation whatsoever. This triggers a traumatic memory for Gyugyo, whose own father died the exact same way. Some random grandma then helpfully tells the kid her new dad is probably dead too, thanks lady. Wei Ying just slaps the big guy when he tries to talk as 20 whole minutes pass. She calls him selfish and tries to jump in herself to save Wang Han. At that exact moment, the crowd spots movement in the water, and Wang Han erupts from the surface with the second victim like a total boss. Medics finally arrive as the crowd gawks at his frankly impossible lung capacity. Gyugyo rushes in for a big hug, calling him dad while he tries not to get her soaked. But the second victim is still completely unresponsive, confusing the first responders, so Wang Han just pushes everyone aside to check the guy's pulse himself. This reunion is super wholesome, with Wei Ying looking on like a proud mom. Meanwhile, the medical team is still totally stumped by the unconscious victim. Our boy takes charge, much to the surprise of the actual doctor kneeling there. And his expert diagnosis is that this perfectly healthy man has irregular periods. A quick slap wakes the person up, revealing she is actually a girl because of course she is. She then explains she survived by stealing oxygen from his mouth, which is one way to put it. Wei Ying is absolutely scandalized by this revelation, while Wang Han just plays it cool. This girl he saved, Xing Maioyan, formally introduces herself and thanks him for the rescue. To show her gratitude, she offers to buy him a meal, shaking his hand. Wei Ying immediately invites her to join their group, turning this into a very awkward triple date. Watching from the sidelines, the jealous stalker Kang Hongj fumes that Wang Han is still breathing. Since his own phone is waterlogged, Wang Han asks to borrow Maioyan's for a call. But she gets a call first. A business deal is going south with a pathetic lowball offer. She is absolutely livid, refusing to sell out her team's hard work for chump change. Suddenly, she has to bail on dinner, awkwardly calling Wei Ning's sister-in-law on her way out. Wang Han, ever the gentleman, offers to give her a ride since she is in such a hurry. So Wang Han speeds off in his G-Wagon with Maoyan, ready to play hero. She explains some corporate shark is trying to lowball her team's software project. They pull up to the company's very generic-looking high-rise building. Inside, her colleague confirms the sleazy boss, Mr. Zhang, is waiting for them. Maoyan formally introduces herself as the project lead to the old guy and his crew, and this dude immediately offers a pathetic 150K to buy them out completely. She is not selling, they need investors, but he just mocks her ambition. One of her teammates immediately gets tempted by the cash, asking if they should sell. And just like that, Mr. Zhang poaches the guy with the money and a job offer, spine sold separately. Another teammate follows suit, leaving Maoyan completely betrayed and furious. Mr. Zhang just smirks that it is all just business, nothing personal, you know how it is. But just as he is leaving, Wang Han grabs the proposal, announcing he is an investor. He calls out the old man for preying on college kids' dreams for pocket change. Zhang threatens him, but our boy just promises to show him what a bigger appetite looks like. With the traders gone, Maoyan thanks him and he offers to talk real investment. Her last partner panics, saying they cannot compete now that their idea is stolen. She mentions needing $1 million for promotion, so he just asks for a bank account number. A phone notification pops up, a $5 million transfer, leaving everyone absolutely speechless. He properly introduces himself, shaking her hand to seal the deal like a boss. Now flush with cash, they get ready to go over the project plans in detail. This last partner standing walks Wang Han through the software basics, but he points out they are just recent grads with zero legal or finance connections. So Wang Han just makes one call to Old Lin for a top-tier legal team, problem solved. With that handled, he tells the kid to focus on tech while he takes care of the money. Driving Wei Ning home, he apologizes for the day's chaos, but she is just impressed. Then Gyugyu spots a car following them, though Wang Han just plays it cool. A second later, he is in a full-on car chase trying to shake his tail. He drops Gyugyu off safely at home first because priorities, and sure enough, he spots one of the goons hiding in the bushes. This guy is trying his best to be stealthy and failing spectacularly. Wang Han just grabs him from behind, making the poor dude jump out of his skin. After a quick scare, he tells the guy to lead the way to his boss. This goon brings him to a car where some shady-looking people are waiting. An old guy introduces himself as Master Bai, some kind of underworld boss. He saw the rescue and offers Wang Han $6 million for an underwater salvage job. His associate is shocked at the price, but the boss says he will pay after the job is done. Wang Han scoffs at the trust me deal, so the guy offers $2 million up front. But our boy just holds up his phone, telling them to hang on a second. He gets a text from a mysterious contact telling him to accept the offer. So he agrees to the deal, leaving Master Bai looking pretty pleased with himself. Master Bai's associate hands over the payment card with a friendly threat about his legs. This old man then reveals the job, retrieving corpses from a place called Dragon Return Beach. Wang Han is understandably skeptical about the super villain-sounding location. But with the $2 million accepted, the deal is sealed and pickup is in 2 days. For part of the transaction done, the woman in red gets in her car and leaves. This moment she is gone, Wang Han is on the phone to his mysterious contact. This fancy-looking boss on the other end confirms the mission is to get that thing. Turns out they are not after bodies, but a golden monk statue with a pagoda in its chest. He explains it was made a century ago to house a sacred 7-jeweled pagoda. When Wang Han asks why he needs it, he is told to stop asking questions and just deliver. Resigned to being a well-paid errand boy, our guy just agrees to the terms. Elsewhere, Su Chi's cousin is at home looking over some documents with a worried expression. Wang Han walks in, surprising her with his early return from whatever he was doing. He immediately spots the papers she is holding, an appraisal report. She snatches it away, insisting it is her own private business. Then she changes the subject, asking if the bead he wears is actually his. He responds with the most ridiculous fake backstory ever: arms tycoon, top assassin, the ace of spades. She is completely unimpressed, so he just offers to go cook for her instead of telling the truth. This next day, the cousin arrives at her company in a flashy red sports car, greeted as CEO Su. But waiting in her office is Lin Zufu, reminding her she took the money and now has a job to do. Lin Zufu lays it all out for Su's cousin. Her bond with Wang Han is unbreakable. She then casually drops that he is still carrying 6 bullets for her and she'd die for him. Pushing some papers forward, she tells the cousin to name a price to get lost. Then she gives her an 8.5-hour deadline before her flight leaves. Total power move. On her way out, another woman greets her as CEO Jiang, revealing her identity. This cousin explains Jiang is a big-shot business partner from Beijing. This new info has her wondering just how powerful the Jiang family really is. Her friend confirms they are buy your entire ancestral home on a whim rich. Suddenly panicked, the cousin starts frantically searching through her documents. She calls her assistant in, looking like she's just put 2 and 2 together. Her first question is whether anyone suspicious has been snooping around her office. And the assistant confirms it. A guy named Sula was there. Right on cue, her phone rings and she looks absolutely furious. She is on the line with Sula, demanding her bank card back while he plays dumb, so she just threatens him with evidence of his past arson and murder, a normal family chat. After hanging up, she calmly tells her friend she has to cancel their plans. This cousin reflects that she was expecting a corporate drama, not a family shakedown. Her friend leaves, still a bit concerned, but the cousin insists everything is fine. A moment later, Sula himself walks in to return the card, claiming he barely spent anything, and she immediately grabs him by the collar, demanding to know how much he spent. Sula casually returns the card, insisting he barely spent a thing. So she grabs him by the collar, demanding to know the real damage. And he admits to blowing over 10 million, which gets him promptly ejected. As he scampers off, she realizes Jiang gave her 100 million just to ditch Wang Han. Meanwhile, at a completely different corporate tower, Wang Han is just chilling with security, swapping wildly exaggerated stories about Somali pirates, when his cousin calls his name from across the plaza, and she is hit with a sudden, sinking feeling that he is about to leave her for good. He just asks what she wants, and her big emergency is a craving for braised fish. After he heads off to handle lunch, she makes a serious phone call, asking an agent to sell her brand new house and car immediately, insisting she is desperate for the cash, no questions asked. Just then, another call comes in. It is CEO Jiang. Jiang basically offers a blank check as long as she gives up Wang Han, but the cousin just tells her to come get her card back, stating firmly that Wang Han's future is his own decision. Outside, our boy is still hanging with the guards, totally oblivious, when another luxury car pulls up, and it is obviously for him. CEO Jiang steps out looking like $1 million and calling him over. She tells him her flight is tonight, and he just asks why she is suddenly in such a rush to leave. CEO Jiang steps out of her car, demanding one last hug. He actually gives her one, complete with dramatic, sparkly effects. She is clearly tearing up but pulls the classic sand in my eye excuse. Our boy tries to calm her down, promising they will meet again, and for his kindness she promptly knees him right in the groin. While he is doubled over, she has the nerve to critique his posture. Then she drives off, shouting she will love him forever, which is just a lot to process. Wang Han is left standing there, completely bewildered by the emotional roller coaster. Watching her car disappear, he has got no clue what just happened. Elsewhere, Su Chi's cousin sits in her office when her phone pings. It is a text from Jiang saying she can keep the money and to treat Wang Han well. This cousin is floored that someone would just give up 100 million, prompting her to make a call for a full background check on our guy. But his file is a total dead end, orphanage, army, then nothing. So she asks her contact to investigate two other names, possibly his sisters. At that moment, Wang Han gets a call from old Lin about a lead on the Su Chi lookalike. They have arrested one of her contacts, but the guy is still unconscious. This location is Dragon Bay Villa, and Wang Han says he is on his way. He immediately peels out on his motorcycle, racing across the city, pulling up to a seriously fancy mansion where the suspect is being held. Wang Han strolls into the villa, casually calling out for old Lin. And there he is, pointing out their unconscious guest of honor on the couch. Without missing a beat, Wang Han yanks the guy up, ordering him to be woken. So they go with the classic interrogation technique, a face full of water. This redhead sputters awake, looking completely bewildered and very, very damp. Wang Han gets straight to business, showing him a photo of the Su Chi lookalike. But this guy just smirks, saying he knows Wang Han has the Buddha's head. That is absolutely the wrong answer, earning him a swift backhand from our boy. Still defiant, the punk threatens him with death while Wang Han calmly wipes his hand. Our guy just smiles, offering to teach him how to answer questions properly. His teaching method involves some very persuasive finger bending, and it works instantly. This guy finally cracks, naming his contact as Hu Dai and warning she is coming to kill him. He explains she is from the Ji family, part of a legendary assassin group called the Dark Eight Gates. This informant insists they are screwed, but Wang Han just scoffs at their shady methods. Old Lin confirms the intel. The Ji family are professional killers, and they are now a target. Despite the warnings, Wang Han seems completely unimpressed by their reputation. With the interrogation over, he coolly tells his men to take the guy away. As he is dragged off, old Lin warns that the Dark Eight Gates are the real deal. While not afraid for himself, Wang Han orders secret protection for Su Chi just in case. Just then, a woman in a slinky white dress appears, asking what he is doing here. This woman in white is shocked. Old Lin still calls him young master, and old Lin drops the bomb. Wang Han is the big shot who won the Qin family project. Her mind is completely blown, realizing the guy she has been dealing with is a major player. But Wang Han is totally oblivious, asking what photos they are even talking about. Utterly mortified, she just bolts up the stairs to escape the crushing awkwardness. Wang Han then orders old Lin to watch their redhead informant and continue the search for Butterfly. With business handled, he straightens his cuffs, looking every bit the untouchable boss. Just then, his phone starts ringing with a call from Xing Maioyan. On the line, his associate is panicking because a rival just launched their software first. Calm as ever, our guy just says he is on his way to the company. This woman reappears, asking where he went, and old Lin just has to tease her about it. She is completely flustered, admitting she never imagined he was such a big deal. Old Lin then gives her a strict warning, keep his identity a secret to protect Su Chi. Cut to Xing Maioyan's office, where the crisis is in full swing. Upon arrival, Wang Han learns their rival has already dropped 2 million on promotion. He immediately asks why they have not spent the 5 million he gave them. With the software confirmed ready, he orders them to dump all 5 million into the launch. His associate is stunned by the amount, but Wang Han tells him to get used to it. Meanwhile, the rival CEO Zhang is celebrating his apparent victory with his team, and he is being a total creep about it because of course he is. Rival CEO Zhang is so confident he is planning to send them a basket of water. But his employee suddenly realizes Wang Han's team is promoting their software too, and Zhang is completely baffled, wondering where they got the cash. His team confirms they just dropped 5 million, which is a bit of a shocker, so he decides to match them, convinced that is all the money they have. Meanwhile, our boy's team is already celebrating hitting number 1. Just as his associate gets a ping for another 5 million in the bank, Wang Han explains their rival is predictable and will definitely escalate. Right on cue, the competition ramps up and his team is ready to fight back. Our guy gives the order to drop another 5 mil, no hesitation, which sends Zhang's office into another panic when they see the new spending. Now he is 7 million in the hole and absolutely refusing to lose. Getting desperate, he calls in a guy named Old Huang for a favor. His brilliant new strategy is to hire someone to crash their servers. Zhang tells his team to grant full system access to the hired help, and a very ominous goat head logo pops up on their screen. One of his guys recognizes it immediately. It is from a hacker named Bafum. Turns out this Bafum is a top 10 hacker from the infamous Black Goat group. Zhang just smirks, saying it is cheaper to destroy them than to outspend them. And at that exact moment, Wang Han's team realizes their server is under attack by that same logo. His team immediately recognizes the attacker. It is Bafum, a top 10 hacker. While his associate is apologizing for the 10 million loss, Wang Han looks completely unbothered. Our boy just scoffs, asking if they are really giving up over a single hacker. Then he starts making calls, casually flexing his German, Korean, and Russian, which leaves his entire staff just staring, jaws on the floor. Meanwhile, rival CEO Zhang is gloating, absolutely certain he has crushed the competition, until his own tech guy realizes something is very, very wrong with his monitor, and their screens get hijacked by a glitchy logo and a random pin-up girl, real professional stuff. Zhang's team panics, realizing they are under attack too, but it is way worse than they thought. They have been hit by hackers ranked 2nd, 4th, 6th, and number 1. Back at HQ, everyone's celebrating, and Wang Han claims he just called some old friends from his internet cafe days. He then tells his associate to prepare for a celebrity endorsement campaign because the money train never stops. With that crisis handled, he rides his motorcycle over to a quiet bar. He walks in and greets the bartender, a woman he calls Sister Meng. She asks what brings him here, and he says he needs a favor. Turns out she is trying to sell the place because she needs money, but she is more interested in his request. He needs her to hook him up with some celebrities for his new software, and she agrees instantly. When he asks about the sale, she explains a friend is short on cash to buy it, so he asks how much. This answer is 9 million, and he just says deal, offering to cover the whole thing. And just like that, he solves her massive financial problem without a second thought. Just as Wang Han solves her money problem, some thugs roll in demanding cash. Their leader confronts Sister Meng, then spots our boy at the bar. He actually recognizes Wang Han as a delivery guy, and she steps in to defend him. For her trouble, the creep shoves her aside, demanding 5 million for the bar. But she calmly drops a bombshell: the place is already sold. This guy does not take rejection well, immediately grabbing her by the throat, and gets a wine bottle smashed clean over his head for his trouble. Wang Han stands over him, casually asking what kind of loser bull is women. Furious, the punk orders his goons to kill the filthy delivery guy, so his 2 lackeys charge forward looking for a fight, which our boy ends in about 2 seconds with a single devastating kick. He is not even breaking a sweat. Another goon tries a kick and gets completely shut down. In a blur of motion, Wang Han proceeds to wipe the floor with the entire crew. With everyone down, Sister Meng begs him to stop, warning they are from the Brotherhood Alliance. Our guy just gives her a look, totally unimpressed by the name. She is still panicking, insisting they cannot afford to mess with these people, so Wang Han just whips out his phone, casually calling someone in the Brotherhood. This lead thug scoffs, thinking he is bluffing, until his own phone starts to buzz. And he looks down, completely confused by the incoming call. On the phone, the lead thug is suddenly very, very agreeable with his boss. And a second later, he is bowing to Wang Han, apologizing for being so blind. Our boy just gestures with his phone, tell it to Sister Meng, not him. So the punk immediately pivots, begging her for forgiveness while she just stares, stunned. Wang Han dismisses them with a wave, telling them to get lost for good. As the whole crew scrambles out, Sister Meng thanks him, still processing what just happened. This scene cuts to a quiet apartment complex as evening sets in, and we find Wang Han dropping his daughter off for a playdate with a friend. He even offers the friend's mom a finance job at his company, which she gratefully accepts. His daughter then asks for a homework/playdate sleepover. It is a super wholesome moment, with everyone all smiles and happy vibes. Back at his place alone, though, the quiet gets to him, so he decides to text Su Chi. She is out drinking with friends and playfully trolls him about it before saying she is staying out. Wang Han just sighs, looking a little lonely on his huge couch, but a business text snaps him right back into boss mode. He's got a meeting tomorrow. Meanwhile, at a totally different bar across town, there is Su Chi texting away while out with her friends, including Sister Meng. Sister Meng mentions she sold the bar and even offers Su Chi a new business contact. Another friend then starts teasing her about her delivery guy husband, demanding to meet him to see if he is a loser. And Su Chi actually defends him, completely unaware he is the secret millionaire who just bought her friend's bar. Back at Wang Han's place, the redhead informant shows up out of nowhere, completely drenched. He immediately questions her, but she just says she was worried about him being alone. Noticing she is soaking wet, he asks what happened and she plays it off like it is nothing. His suspicion is through the roof as he tells her to go change, which clearly sets her off. And then it happens, she pulls a knife, calling him Hughie, which means butterfly. Our boy just casually blocks the blade with his bare hand, not even flinching. She is completely shocked that he knows her real name, and he immediately overpowers her, declaring that if she knows his name, she has to die. He winds up for a brutal chop, ready to end this right now, slamming her to the floor and pinning her in an instant. Even on the ground, she is spitting threats, demanding he return some beads and a Buddha head. Wang Han just calmly examines his hand, totally unimpressed by her little tantrum. He holds her down with ease, basically asking who the hell she thinks she is. But she has got one last trick, spitting a poison needle right at his face, which he dodges with the most bored expression I have ever seen. Still trying to fight, she tells him to go to hell as he grabs her wrist. Our guy prepares to deliver a finishing blow, finally done with the games. But he stops dead, realizing she looks exactly like Su Chi, and she asks if he wants to be her brother-in-law. She uses the moment of shock to launch a kick, still demanding the Buddha head, and he just catches her leg, calmly telling her he does not have what she is looking for. She keeps demanding the Buddha head, bragging about who she is stabbed for it. In a last-ditch effort, she throws another projectile right at him, which Wang Han just plucks out of the air, completely unimpressed. Realizing she is outmatched, she backs off, warning she will be back for the items later. With that, she makes a run for it, leaving him in the trashed apartment. And of course, just as the assassin leaves, Su Chi arrives home, perfect timing. She strolls toward the door, totally unaware of the chaos she is about to walk into. Inside, the click of the lock makes Wang Han jump, realizing someone's there. Su Chi steps in and her first thought is, "Why is the floor soaking wet?" She playfully grabs him, asking if he was sleep-talking about a sister-in-law. His genius response is to check her for a pregnancy pulse, which is not it. Confused, she asks why he is even home, and he claims he forgot a document for work. But her focus is back on the watery mess, demanding an explanation for the disaster zone. She then finds a piece of clothing left behind and gives it a suspicious sniff. When she asks if a woman was here, he just admits someone who looked exactly like her was. Su Chi is completely stunned, thinking he is a cheater with the lamest excuse ever. He swears he is not making it up, but she has already decided she misjudged him completely. Now he is trapped, trying to figure out how to drop the "you have a secret evil twin" bomb. As he tries to explain, she just glares, convinced he is lying through his teeth. This poor guy is sweating, realizing there is no easy way to say you are adopted. Early next morning, Wang Han gets a text summoning him for a new job. A woman in a red suit named Liu Yi is waiting to pick him up. Inside the car, he is already asking about his contact by Deming. She tells him to shut up and show some respect for the sixth master. Then comes the blindfold for security reasons, which he accepts with zero concern. An hour later, they arrive at a very secluded, modern-looking building. She has to wake him up. Our boy was literally napping through his own sketchy transport. Getting out, he is greeted by another man at their supposed secret base. He is then introduced to a group of shady-looking guys who are told he is an excellent swimmer. Wang Han immediately drops a line in Japanese about someone getting killed just to see their reaction. His contact tries to smooth it over, saying a Mr. Hamasaki has high hopes for him, but our guy reveals he understood everything, calling them out before telling everyone to get moving. This whole crew arrives at a remote beach, planning to hit an underwater grotto at low tide. Their guide is a random old fisherman whose profession is listed as corpse retriever, a totally normal resume. Suddenly, a call comes in warning that a rival young master is on his way to crash the party. This boss, sixth master, orders one of his men to stay behind and deal with them. Just then, the fisherman yells that their window is closing as the water level rises, and with zero hesitation, the old man dives headfirst into the river without any gear. Two other guys in full scuba suits follow him into the water. Deep below, the fisherman is already leading the way, gesturing for the pros to keep up. Underwater, the divers follow the old fisherman toward a strong metal signal. Their goal is to find a landmark called the Iron Ox to locate the grotto, but what they find are massive, chained-up creatures on the seafloor. One of them realizes this is no ox, it is more like a giant centipede. This old guide immediately stops him from touching it, pulling him away. He then points to a giant whirlpool, saying that is their front door, totally safe, and into the swirling aquatic death trap they go. Once inside the cave, the old man tries to renegotiate his fee, sensing an opportunity. Wang Han just ignores the hustle, exploring the cavern with his flashlight. They finally spot the prize, a golden stupa embedded high in the wall. To get it out, the fisherman snaps off a stalactite to use as a makeshift chisel. His attempt to break the rock fails miserably, proving he is all talk, so Wang Han calmly offers to give it a try himself. With a single, effortless chop, he shatters the stone, impressing the old guy. This treasure, however, is a mummified body, and Wang Han asks about the payment, which is the cue for the old man to betray him, swinging the rock spike at his head. This blow connects, drawing blood as our boy raises an arm to block. Now holding the corpse, the geezer gloats that the loot is all his. He makes a quick escape by diving back into the water, leaving Wang Han behind. But our guy is not alone for long, as a pair of glowing red eyes appears in the darkness. Turns out the glowing eyes belong to a giant cave snake, because of course they do. This monster lunges, ready to make him its next meal, but Wang Han just leaps away, casually mocking its appetite, and lands a solid kick right between the eyes. It retaliates by spewing a massive cloud of poison gas, forcing our boy to backflip out of the toxic fog. He then pulls out his phone, which is apparently a secret weapon now, and throws it, unleashing a barrage of blades that slice the snake up, a true smart weapon. With the beast wounded and reeling, he sizes up the situation. Deciding business comes first, he grabs his gear to leave, and dives back into the water, leaving the snake to its misery. Outside, bubbles start breaking the surface of the river, and it is the old fisherman popping up all alone to greet the crew. He claims Wang Han is trapped and tries to extort more money for the treasure, which earns him a pistol whip from the very angry Japanese contact. Even with a gun to his head, the geezer tries to start a bidding war, bold move. But then another goon just decks him, completely tired of the games. This whole crew starts beating him down, but he refuses to talk. At that exact moment, Wang Han surfaces from the water, and just watches them pummel the old trader, thinking it serves him right. Wang Han surfaces with a tiny golden stupa, calling the old man a fool. Turns out he hid the real prize on his person, the stupa was just a decoy. He tells the goons to have fun with their beatdown and just swims away. Back on shore, his phone buzzes mid-change, prompting a very tired "who now?" This caller asks if he got the items, and he confirms the mission was a success. But his handler orders him to stick around, gain their trust, and find their real boss. Wang Han just sarcastically agrees to this new, incredibly dangerous plan. Meanwhile, the Japanese contact is busy choking the life out of the old fisherman. Even then, the geezer is trying to start a bidding war for the treasure. What a hustler. This crew gets orders to find Wang Han and the golden statue immediately. So the old man lies that a giant python already ate him for dinner. Right on cue, a woman spots someone waving from the water, and it is Wang Han back from the dead to ruin the old guy's story. Once they pull him out, he is immediately looking for the traitor. This old man is completely shocked to see him alive as our boy promises murder. He lunges to make good on that promise, but the contact holds him back. Now feeling safe, the geezer tries to play them against each other with threats. Wang Han is having none of it, winding up a punch to shut him up for good. But a golden bead suddenly slams into his chest, stopping him cold. And it was the Japanese contact who fired it, now pointing a gun right at him. In a flash, Wang Han twists the gun right out of his hand and immediately pops out the magazine, rendering it useless. Suddenly, the contact is in a headlock, staring down his own barrel. His next move is whispering that the Japanese boss is setting him up to die. This contact flinches, earning a death threat for even thinking about moving. Sixth Master tries to play peacemaker, but Wang Han just wants his money. Meanwhile, the old trader pipes up, claiming only he knows where the real treasure is. Once the payment clears, Wang Han just boots the contact away. Then he hands the empty gun back, the ultimate power move. Completely humiliated, the contact can only scream "idiot" in Japanese. You can just feel the pure, unadulterated rage radiating off this dude. Wang Han looms over him with a final warning to stay put or else. With that settled, Sixth Master approaches with a job offer disguised as flattery. Our boy counters by offering to eliminate any obstacles for him, and that sly look says the boss is very, very interested.